Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Sector 1. We are here tonight at Autopolis. Well, some of us are. I mean, the drivers aren't on track as they have completed their races on Sunday. But we are here with coverage of Group A for Divisions 1 and 3. Round 6 Season 8 action in the NSX. My name is Lenosis, and joining me in the commentary box tonight is the Division 4 Championship leader, Snake Eyes. How are we doing tonight, Snake Eyes?
Yeah, not too bad. Thanks yourself.
Yeah, pretty alright. I mean, yeah, it's going to be definitely a different kind of stream tonight. I mean, it's a Sector 1 first. We're going to be streaming the replays of the qualifying and the races that we were unable to stream on Sunday as they were in parallel to the Div 2 and Div 4 races. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely going to be a few things that need to be ironed out, but I think for the most part, it's looking like it should be a good night of racing, and we can just show everybody the action that's going on track from last Sunday. But before we get too far into it, let's have a look at our track map. We're going to treat this just like a Sunday night stream, just that the racing, it'll all be the same racing. It's just, yeah, just from a couple of nights ago is all. So here is our track map for round number 6. It is, of course, Autopolis Racing course. The full course here, 4.274 kilometers, 19 corners, 28 laps, totaling just over 130 kilometers for race distance. It is 4 times tyre wear, 3 times fuel, with the racing softs the only dry compound, and the wet weather intermediate and wet compounds are available for use by the drivers. So we'll have a look at the race strategy as well for tonight, as it is a lot of variation in strategy. And we saw with the Div 2, Div 4 race that it definitely, the 1-stop and the 2-stop is both viable strategies in the races tonight. But you also need to keep in mind that the wet weather, as you can see on our rain gauge up in the top corner there, there is a little bit of rain expected in both races tonight towards the end. So the drivers will just have to keep that in the back of their mind, just in case they are required to make a pit stop for the wet weather compounds. But yeah, so either a 1-stop or 2-stop, both are viable. Very interesting to see how that shapes up towards the end of the race, isn't it, Snake Eyes?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's very interesting this track to see what people do. I know in the Div 4 race there was a few people that went 1-stop and 2-stop, so there's a bit of different strategies going on.
Yeah, and even though we've got on our graphic here, for the 1-stop, 14 laps, and the 2-stop, 10, 10, 9. It does change depending on the situation. You can undercut, overcut, but try and get a bit of an edge on your opponents. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what happens in the race tonight. So we'll have a look at our Division 3 standings from round 5. This is how they're shaping up. Boibagum leads the way over Levenspiel. Just a 9-point gap there, I believe, if I'm reading that right. Gur in 3rd. Revs takes 4th in the championship. The Stranger for Doghouse is 5th. Kill on the Loose in 6th. Black Project in 7th. VF in 8th. Squirrel in 9th. Beaver 10th, Daz 11th, Budsy 12th, Carbon Boy 13th, and Prua is in 14th and rounding out the pack. So yeah, definitely a tight battle up and down the field. We've got that bit of a gap at the top end between Boibagum and Levenspiel, but yeah, then you've got like less than 10 points separating the next 6 drivers. So very, very tight margins here in this Division 3 field, isn't it, Snake Eyes?
Yeah, very much. And it only takes 1 or 2 races to switch those around quite dramatically as well.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I mean, some people do know the results of tonight, as these are the standings before the race. But we've also got the standings after the race as well. So no sneak peeks, guys. We'll just have to keep that under wraps and until we've completed qualifying and the race in Division 3 here. But if you've got your replay ready to go, Snake Eyes, I reckon we get straight into qualifying here for Division 3. Mine is just loading in at the moment. And we've just got to make sure they're synced so that we both know what's going on track.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
So you did end up finding that one. I believe it was Carbon that shared the replay.
Yep. Okay,
no worries. All right. So hello to everybody in chat at the moment. We see Robert Rice, Debrev in chat, Boybagum. Nice to see you all in the chat. It looks like we have 10 people in the stream at the moment, which is decent numbers. I mean, it is a Thursday night, so a lot of people are tired. They don't really want to settle down for some Sector 1 racing, but yeah, it's an odd night for a stream, but we're out here and we're going to give it a good red-hot crack. There's lots of racing action coming up. So I say we jump straight into qualifying. Like how are we gonna sync our replays?
If you just do a countdown or something, if you like.
All right.
See how we go.
Yeah, we'll click the play replay button in 3, 2, 1.
Okay, I've got noise.
Yeah.
I got people leaving the pits.
There we go. They're live. First few cars are making their way out on the circuit. And Gran Turismo is kind enough to give us lap times in replays, but not gaps, which is a little bit annoying. So we just have to deal with it for tonight. And I do believe they give us... Oh no, they don't give us keyboard controls. So we're back to the good old days of Season 6 and the start of Season 7 when we had to use the controller for streams. Bit of a nostalgia, but as it stands, we see Revs, the first driver out on track in this qualifying session, coming through the hairpin at the moment, at the top of the circuit. We have Squirrel, I believe this is, G Braun. I don't think Gran Turismo lets us have the PSN IDs in replays. We have to use the Gran Turismo usernames, so there'll be a little bit of discrepancies to what we're used to seeing on a Sunday night of racing, but I'm sure we can fill in the gaps. For the most part, everyone's IDs are generally the same. So we have the black and gold car, the only one in this division of Gura 17, the Dadson Racing driver. Oh, as Squirrel's gone off the track there at the second last corner. That's not ideal. As they round the final corner, Revs begins his first flying lap. We see the Stranger just behind Squirrel there, begins his first flying lap. Killer on the loose in the white and green Lightning Motorsports car into the first turn. We see Black Project, the number 34 for Kraken Esports, rounding the first turn, looking to get off to a good start in this qualifying session. Carbon Boy, the APR Motorsport driver with the orange wheels, 7th man out on track. We see Isa Budsy, P8 in a new livery that I don't think we've seen on track before. He's back in Sector 1. He's had a bit of a break due to unforeseen circumstances, but he's back on track and we love to see him here, sporting the number 76 car. Proa with the yellow wheels, similar to Carbon Boy, but not quite, the golden wheels. The APR Motorsport head out on track once again, looking to get a good result on the board this time out. Boybagum in the CP Motorsports car, the championship leader with a 9-point lead at the moment. 10th driver out on track. Looks like he's hooking up a lap at the moment. We see Daz down in 11th at the moment, barreling down towards the fast flowing turn 16. No, it's a bit earlier than that. Turn 14, I believe. Levenspiel, the second driver in the championship for Red Mist Racing. He is looking to get a good lap out of the way as we see the first few laps coming in. We see VF in... Oh, I was wrong. There's a second Datsun car here tonight. But anyway, Stranger, straight to pole position with a 130. Oh, as we see somebody going off there. Who is that? That's Squirrel. So not too sure what's happened there, but he's just letting a few cars... He's facing the wrong way, actually.
You can't park there.
Yeah, he's probably just letting all the drivers through before he turns back around. There he goes.
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah, Stranger, P1. Very, very feisty lap straight out of the chopping blocks. And yeah, I mean, I don't think Stranger's had a pole position in this field in a long time. Have to be going back to season 6 for the last time Stranger was on pole in this category. Budsy straight out of the gates, and he's immediately gone P2. A long time out of the sim, but he's immediately gone bang, and he's on it. Levenspiel not too far behind, 600s behind Budsy. Short gap back to Black Project there as well. In 4th position, we see Gurr, the 43 car, in P5 at the moment. Let's see if he can improve on this lap. Killer on loose. P6 for Lightning Motorsport there. Revs can only amount to a P7 after the first lap. Let's see what he can do this time round. Promotes himself to P5. That's a pretty decent lap. Gurr goes to 3rd place. That's a great lap for him. He'll be happy with that. Goes 1,000th of a second quicker than Levenspiel there. Levenspiel will be a bit annoyed at that. Coming very close to the top 3, but he has a chance to improve this time round. Let's see what he can do. Budsy's into the pits.
Can't get any closer than that. 0.001.
Yeah. Levenspiel is down on that lap. As we have the next few cars coming through, it will be VF and no, Squirrel's down on the lap, but VF does improve, not in position, but in lap time, half a second off his lap time there, and goes within a 10th of Daz. Stranger furthers his lead at the top of the field by 3/10, a 38.4. That is a ripping lap. Holy moly. That's almost on par with the Div 2 lap times that we saw on Sunday. And he's a 10th purple again. Very, very rapid circulation from Stranger at Autopolis. The purple doghouse car.
Looks good, that car too. I like that.
Yeah, very good livery.
Not really a purple fan, but that does look good.
Yeah. Stranger, he won last season the Mo Jalen Award, so keeping up the good work this season with some striking liveries on all the doghouse cars.
See Gert sitting right on his tail as well, maybe trying to get a little bit of a slipstream.
Yeah, the Kane brothers, Gurr and Stranger, they're both at the top of their game at Autopolis. Last time out, I believe it was a 1-2 finish back in Season 6 in the S1 Supercars. Gurr won that race on that occasion with Stranger in P2. It was a wet affair. And yeah, Gurr managed to get the better of his teammate and team owner Dadson, and Stranger taking P1 very, very confidently.
Stranger dips out, lets Gurr past.
Yeah, that's good sportsmanship.
Nothing really changing at the moment. It'd be interesting to see if anyone comes in and pits.
Yeah, I
Gets
believe
a fresh set of tyres.
Budsy was one of the only drivers to pit, and he chucked on a new set of tyres, and now he's on a flying lap. He's got 3/10 to tackle Stranger. He's already cut out a half a tenth chunk out of that lap time as he goes purple through the first sector, but he's also only 200ths ahead of Levenspiel in 3rd. So Budsy hoping for a pole position. That would be a dream restart to his Sector 1 season. Let's see what he can do on this lap as he comes into the sweeper. Very tough to get right. Looks like he does get it pretty well as he approaches the timing line for Sector 2. It's located in a strange area, this timing line, but he's a 10th and a half purple. He could be going to pole position here. This is going to be a ripper lap for Budsy. hitting this
tricky
final
track.
sector.
A lot of off-cambered corners.
Yeah, very, very tricky. Particularly this final sector on the circuit. Lots of tight corners, and as you said, off camber, have to really slow down the car and wait to get on the throttle. And that's exactly what Buzzy's doing as he's approaching the final few corners, penultimate corner now. And this braking zone in here, you're turning and braking at the same time. Slowing down the car is very difficult, but it looks like Buzzy does a good job of it. Little kink before the start-finish line. What's it going to be? Is he going to get there? Oh, he goes 3,000ths behind Boybagum, who slots himself into P2 there as well. What a lap from Boybagum, but it's not going to be quick enough, as Stranger has an 800th gap. Is he going to be able to hold that by the end of the session? We'll have to find out. As interestingly, nobody has picked for a fresh set of tyres, except for Budsy. So Budsy's the driver watch at the moment, I feel. As everybody else, they're going to be slowing down. They're not on the freshest of tyres in the latter stages of this qualifying session. I don't think anybody else is going to get a lap except for, who is that on the backside of the circuit? It is Daz, who is in a fight with the bottom places here, and he's well and truly down. But he's only 2,000ths down on Squirrel there in P11. Let's see what Daz can do as he starts his final flying lap, and there's somebody else behind him on track. Half of these guys are going to get another lap, and some of them aren't. Revs will definitely get another lap. It's not quicker on that occasion. So you see the next few coming through, Killer, and I forget who was ahead there, as Killer's going to be the first to finish. And it will be Carbon Boy next, who takes the checkered flag. P9 for Carbon Boy. So you see Boybagum. He's not on a lap, or he is on a lap, but he's going to be down by half a second there. You say Levenspiel and Gur, or is that VF crossing line? One of them, but nobody improving. No improvements we're seeing, as we're seeing somebody off Black Projects off the circuit there. And we see Budsy and Squirrel cannot go quicker. Next will be Black Project, who had a spin at the final corner, across the line. And we see VF crossing the line well and truly down there. Last few cars. Daz is on a lap and Revs is on a lap. That's all that is left. Let's see what Daz can do to improve his position. Judging by the lap time, oh, that's very wide. Almost goes off the track through turn 16, 17. Rounds the final corner. Oh, I think he's going to be down. Non-representative lap, well and truly down. But somebody who is on a representative lap is Revs, who is rounding the final corner now. No, this is not a representative lap. He's going to be well and truly down, unfortunately. Is he? Actually, he might get close. No, he's not going to get there. And that's all she wrote for Division 3 qualifying. Well, definitely an interesting session. I mean, that was Stranger's first pole position in a long while in this category. He'll be very chuffed with that. So we'll have a look at the results for Division 3 qualifying. This is how they are shaping up. We see Stranger in P1. Boybagum will join him alongside on the front row of the grid. Just 8/10 shy of the pole position there for Boybagum. Budsy just 300ths away, so close to that pole position. Levenspiel in P4 there. Gur takes 5th. Revs in 6th. Black Project in 7th. Killer and Loose will take 8th. And the second half is looking like this. Carbon Boy in 9th. VF in 10th. Squirrel 11th. Daz 12th. And Kruo will be rounding out the field in 13th. Wow, what a very interesting session, eh, Snake Eyes? Lots of improvement early on, and then not much towards the end. I don't think we saw any improvement on that final lap there, eh?
No, I was just trying to look at the actual. Well, I'm trying to look at it on my phone, to be honest. I'm trying to look at the split differences, and I tell you what, pretty close at that top of that field.
Yeah, absolutely, very tight. I mean, like a tenth separating the top four. Very, very tight margins at the top of the field. But Stranger coming home in P1. So let's see if he can hold it into the next 28 laps around Autopolis. Have you got your race ready there, Snake Eyes?
Just about. I was trying to get people to place bets with me on who was going to win. VF's hoping he does better this time around.
Yeah. So a few more people in chat there as well. Get on the loose. Thanks for joining us. Living Spieling chat. We have VF in chat. Yeah, so Snake Eyes as well. Yeah, placing bets on the winner on a race has already happened. Definitely an interesting strategy.
Yeah, might pick up some money here.
Yeah.
Alrighty, this is loading up. Sorry, every time if you exit out of it, it kicks me all the way back to the main screen. So yeah. So I've got that ready to go whenever you decide to kick it off.
Okay, so it worked last time, so to get it in sync, I'll count down from 3 and then we click play replay. So, wait, hang on, gotta get this all ready. Alright.
Yep.
3, 2, 1. As the light sequence begins, we're straight into it. Okay, that's quick. Up as they begin, lights out and away we go here at Autopolis. I didn't expect the light sequence to begin that quickly, but we're away and going. They barrel down towards the first turn. Boybegum looks to the outside. And a little bit of a lock-up in the background. Is there a little bit of contact? But they all keep it facing the right direction. That's what you like to see. As they head down towards turn 2 and 3 now. We see a little bit of chopping and changing. Is that Prua looking for a move in the background? No, he has to back out of that move as we're riding on board with Gur now. As they come through turn 5 and 6, down towards the hairpin. Tight section here. Let's see if there's any moves thrown down the inside. Somebody running wide in the background there, not too sure that was. But everybody continues on, facing the right direction as VF drops to the back of the field. Stranger has got a getaway over the other drivers here, and he's barreling down towards the hairpin to complete the second sector. Boybegum unable to make a move on that occasion, and he moves into the hairpin. Not that we can see. So they barrel down towards the sweeper to begin at the final sector. This final sector starts off fast and flowing and then slows down right up before the finish line. As we're not seeing any moves, everybody keeping things single file for the most part. You see the two Obsession cars just towards the back of the field, Carbon Boy and Prua. So Carbon Boy's lost a few positions. Prua has made up a bunch off this race start. But for the top 6, 7, top 6, it is unchanged at the moment. So they complete the first lap. Stranger leads ahead of Boybegum. Down to the first turn. Not seeing any moves being made as these guys head down towards the second braking zone now.
Div 3 doing a lot better job than they did at St. Croix, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Or St. Croix.
Yeah, it was a very messy start at St. Croix. Had to go to 2 red flags, third time lucky. A little bit of contact in the background. We see Squirrel getting down the inside of Prua and Carbon Boy goes through. That was a massive bit of contact there from Squirrel, but Carbon Boy, Prua, the big loser out of that exchange. As Carbon Boy right up under the rear wing of Squirrel, and he's going to go for a late move, a little bit of contact on the apex, and contact, and Squirrel's gone, oh dear, pointing the wrong way, and he drops to the back of the field. Oh, that's disaster for Squirrel. A little bit of contact between Carbon Boy and Squirrel there, and it's seen him off the track and down towards the back of the field. But what that has done, that battling has left a massive gap between P8 and P9, between Carbon Boy and Black Project there. Who Black Project trying to scramble onto the back of this leading pack. As Boybegum sets the fastest lap on the first time round, and he's right up under that rear wing of Stranger. Beginning the third lap, down into the first turn, no move made by Boybegum, slots in behind on Stranger. As we see Budsy, no, that's Levenspiel looking for a mood on Budsy, I should say, but pulls out. Budsy able to outbrake Levenspiel into turn 3 there.
Yeah, there's just a little bit of a gap there between Boybegum and Budsy, and then it looks like Budsy and Lev are having a bit of a battle, followed closely by Gur and Revs. Bit of a train there on that first, probably 7 cars actually, with Killer sort of bringing up the rear of that as well. Mind you, Black Project, I just say that, he's sitting there as well, so big train of 8 cars in that first group.
Yeah, not a large gap between these guys, anyone within a shot here, and then you look back, unfortunately we don't have the actual gaps between the cars, as Gran Turismo replays don't allow us that feature, but we can infer it's about 3 or 4 seconds back to Carbon Boy from Black Project. Maybe a bit bigger, maybe 5 or 6, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, we do have the track map that sort of does give us a bit of a gap distance idea, but yeah, it definitely would have been handy to have that timing.
Yeah. As we have a look back up the front, is Boybegum close enough to make a move on this occasion? No, Stranger has got a bit of a jump on that lap. Manages to extend the gap. Rev sets fastest lap on that previous rotation. And into the braking zone, a little bit deep from Boybegum there. We see Budsy having to defend. Oh, Gur's gone! Oh no! He does a 360 and he's dropped to the back of this front pack. That is absolute disaster for Gur there. As we'll have a look back on the Liquid Solutions action replay at just what happened there for Gur as he head down into the first turn. Let's see what happens. As he just runs very deep, a little bit wide on the power, onto the grass, and loops it round. That's unfortunate for Gur there. Drops to P8 from P5. As we look back up, and I think, can you confirm we're at the same point? They're just heading down between the hairpin and the first corner of sector 3 here.
They're just about to hit the bottom of the hill and turn right now.
Alright. Oh no. Okay, there we go. We got it. See, this is the issue with the replays. It's hard to sync. As we see Stranger heading down towards this technical final part of the sector. He's starting to edge a gap over Boybegum here as well. So doing a good job here, Stranger. Just managing his lead well. But Boybegum now under a lot of pressure from Budsy, who loses it. Oh, big slide from Budsy. Almost loses it there.
It's really tricky getting that that last little kink and corner onto that front straight to get a decent run. So easy to stuff it up, especially coming out of that really off-cambered right-hander, that big sort of off-cambered banked sort of horseshoe shape.
Yeah. As we see Gur send it down the inside of Black Project, but he gets a poor exit. Maybe a little bit too cautious after last lap. And Black Project has the opportunity to send it down the inside of Gur. Doesn't. Is happy to just sit in behind for now. But that incident from Gur and Black Project may be making a mistake. That really brings Carbon Boy back into things. That gap down to about 2 seconds, maybe 1.5 to Black Project there. But yeah, now that front field sort of just encompasses Killer and Gur and Black Project. They've sort of dropped into the grasp of the 2 Obsession cars just sitting behind there. So as we're 5 laps in, what do you say we jump into an APR tyre and fuel update? Thanks, Snake Eyes.
Yeah, no worries at all. I don't think we're going to worry too much about fuel on this one from memory. We'll go through straight. His worst tyre is probably a third on the left. Still about a third gone. But he'd be a little bit better actually. His front left is looking better. His back left is also a little better. Levenspiel, his tyres are about the same as Budsy. Rev's exactly the same. Killer on the loose, probably a bit more closer to where the Stranger and Boybegum is. Gurr's got really good tyres. Black Project, put a little bit less than Gurr. Carbon Boy, he's got good tyres. Brewer, he's probably got the most wear on the front left that I've seen. Daz has got really nice tyres.
Oh, as we see a move from VF on Daz. Oh, has to pull out at last moment.
Squirrel's trying to push up the back there as well. So VF's got good tyres, and Squirrel has a fair bit of wear on the front left, but not too bad.
Thanks
It's going to be interesting. Sorry, it's going to be interesting to see when they pit whether who goes for a two-stop or a one-stop.
Yeah, thanks, Snake Guys. As we have a look at this absolutely incredible battle going on for last place here. VF and Squirrel. Daz not too far up the road as well. These guys going at it hammer and tong as they approach the final sector now. We saw a lot of side-by-side action through that middle sector, but it looks like VS has sealed the deal at the moment over Squirrel. Oh, as we have a look back up the front, they're 3 wide across the start-finish line. Oh my goodness, we almost missed that. As they're approaching the first corner now, they're neck and neck. Levenspiel and
4 of
Budsy.
them in it.
Oh my goodness, they're 3 wide. Oh, down the inside goes Revs. Can't quite get it pulled up, but oh my goodness. Boybegum has gone from 2nd down to 5th, and this is... Stranger is licking his lips as we see... Oh, Rev's going for a move on Levenspiel. Can't quite get it done. Stranger is licking his lips as he is absolutely taking off into the distance here. Absolutely loving what's going on down the back of the field here. There's
Yeah, it looks
5
like
cars.
Budsy might be just holding them up a little bit.
5 cars within a second. This is incredible racing action as Revs looks like he's in a hurry. He wants to get by Levenspiel as soon as possible. Is he going to do it? Shows the nose, backs out, makes Levenspiel go defensive. That's going to cause him to have a poor exit on the run down towards the fast sweeper. But Revs doesn't get the greatest of exits. A little bit of unstable instability on the rear end on exit. Into this final sector now, things are starting to sort themselves out. This tight and technical final sector, mostly single file. Maybe an opportunistic move if somebody runs wide, but not much potential for a move. But that means that everybody's going to bunch up through this part of the lap. And then down into that first corner, we're going to see what happened last lap. We're going to see 2-3 wide once again on the power. As we see Levenspiel looking for a move on Budsy, sorry. Single file this time. Not as much action on this lap as opposed to the last, but these guys continue on without a hiccup. But Stranger has got an absolutely monumental gap as we see Levenspiel showing the nose to Budsy. Budsy chops it off, says none of that, get out of my corner. I didn't know what to say there.
I know Budsy's been away for a couple of months because he had some technical issues with his wheel and pedals and stuff like that, and it took him a while to get things sorted and rectified. But for a guy that hasn't spun the wheel for a couple of months, he's doing exceptionally well.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see Levenspiel still trying to find a way by Isa Budsy, knocking on the back door with no answer.
Really tough track to pass on this.
Yeah, you really only get the first and third corners as an overtaking opportunity. There aren't really many other places on the track to overtake, unfortunately.
Especially when everyone's running the same car.
That's Gurr's gone off. Oh, disaster for the Datsun driver. Oh, at a terrible point on the track as well. Takes so long to get back on the circuit. And he's gone from 7th place all the way down to 9th. So we have back a look up the front.
Damage.
Yeah, so he must have gone all the way off into the wall. That's a long way off down there. So they start the 9th lap. This is where the 2 stoppers are really looking at finding their way into the pit lane for another set of... Oh, as we see a move. So Levenspiel forced Budsy to go defensive, and then Budsy's gone off the track and lost the position to both Levenspiel and Revs. So Budsy down to 4th place and under a lot of pressure from Boybagum. He's slotted into an awkward spot in the chain here. But that means that Levenspiel is free to open the taps and push for this lead.
Looks like he's starting to try and pull away a bit.
As we see Revs under a
Oh,
lot of pressure.
someone's gone.
Oh, huge contact as they're all gone. Oh dear, that's disaster for these guys. They're all off the track. Oh dear, that's 3 or 4 cars involved in that. Oh, that is disaster. That's not the way we wanted that to end. We'll have a look back on the replay at what happened there. As a little bit of contact. Budsy, Revs, Boybagum's gone. Killer's involved as well. Not ideal, and that's how things end. Killer goes up through into P3. Very, very interesting there. Jump back to live, and they're just approaching the final corner now. Are we linked up after the replay? Stranger's crossing the line now. Radio silence from Snake Eyes.
Sorry, he was just coming into the first corner when you said that. He's now into the second corner.
Oh, okay. We'll go one ahead. There we go. Okay. Thank you. As that means that Carbon Boy is now up into P5 after that drama that happened. Oh, as we see somebody going off again back in the background, that's a Squirrel off the track at the first turn. That is not ideal for Squirrel's race. Stranger and Levenspiel, the 2 protagonists of this race, now in a league of their own as they approach the hairpin. On the power now down towards that sweeper. We see a move. Revs trying around the outside of Carbon Boy. Can't quite get that done. Carbon Boy gets a good exit. Revs has no reply. Into the sweeper now. As things have closed up a lot between Stranger and Levenspiel. Levenspiel really on a charge for the lead of the race at this stage of the race. He could be on for a 2-stop here potentially, Levenspiel. But see what he does as they approach the pit lane. He's right on target for the 2-stop. No, he goes around again. Wants nothing to do with it. Killer on the loose. Goes around again. So does Black Project. The only person who pits is Boybagum on the 2-stop. As we see Revs looking for a move on Carbon Boy into the first turn. A little bit of contact on the apex. Both keep pointing in the same direction on the black stuff. Revs goes through into P5. Carbon Boy, return to sender. Tries to fire it back down the inside of the Kung Fu Racing car. Into the hairpin now. Carbon Boy waiting for the gap to open up. It doesn't quite. Budsy trying to get a piece of the pie into the sweeper now.
This is interesting too because Div 4 was running their race at the same time as this was going on, and I'm pretty sure everyone in Div 4 and Div 2 sort of sit back and normally watch the Div 3, Div 1 race and see which strategy works best as well.
Yeah, that's it. Would have made strategy very difficult for the Group B'ers. That's normally why we run the Group A race, so that these guys can sort of give a couple of tips, and the Group B guys have it a little bit easier. They get to see when things work, when things don't work, and they get to make their own choices. As we have a look back up front, Stranger and Levenspiel, that gap well and truly under a second now. So they both go around again, going for the one stop. Have to be. Killer on the
Those
loose,
tyres
Kills into the pits.
Those tyres are starting to get down a fair bit as well.
The gap's opening up just a little bit here. As Carbon Boy under a lot of pressure from Budsy and Revs really pressuring Black Project for this move. Are we going to see him move into turn 3? Shows the nose, does Revs, but no move. Through turn 5 and 6 and into the hairpin. These guys still keeping it single file. A little bit wide there from Revs and Carbon Boy. Through the sweeper. Oh, Budsy, a little bit offline there. Onto the marbles. As we see Carbon Boy and Revs looking for a move. No, potentially the door half open, but Revs can't quite capitalize on the space given by Black Project. Down the hill now. Into the sweeper. As Black Project has run wide. Revs goes up into P3. He's under pressure from Carbon Boy. Oh, how's Revs made the move on Black Project there? But Budsy still in this sort of battle pack. There's 4 cars and they're all battling it out. Carbon Boy looking for a way through. Can't quite get through on the guys. Oh, he shows the nose half open. Black Project. Carbon Boy opens the gap, slides on through, and he's up in a 4th place. And now Budsy's getting a piece of the pie. Black Project is walking backwards. Isa Budsy has the slipstream from Carbon Boy. He's going to get down on Black Project. He's going to try down the inside of Carbon Boy. So over the grass, no room given. And he's going to come back on the track. Black Project has nowhere to go. That was a very ambitious move from Budsy, but Carbon Boy manages to hold his position as we see Black Project in the background there. Black Project still pressuring for this position on Budsy, trying to reclaim what was his moments ago. Back to the front, Stranger and Levenspiel. The gap is still the same, situation identical to 2 laps ago. As this fight for the podium is still raging on, Carbon Boy has lost touch with Revs just slightly, but he's still got Budsy and Black Project to worry about just behind him.
I tell you what, the Stranger's pushing his tyres. He hasn't got much left at all, especially that back left.
Well, he's only got to make it one more lap to be on track for the one-stop strategy. Lap 13 currently. As we have a look a little bit down the order, we see VF and Kill on the Loose absolutely going at it. 13
Stranger's
laps in. Stranger's in.
Yep, comes in 1 lap early.
Yeah, lap 13. Has faith that the tyres can last 15 laps. Levenspiel. I mean, this lap is going to be very, very slow for him. So, he's really just got to wait for... well, yeah, Stranger should be able to get an undercut here. Black Project's in as well there. So, Carbon Boy inherits the podium place. And Levenspiel has the lead for at least 1 lap here.
Yeah, so Stranger only came out with 50% fuel, so that less load on the tyres will help having to go that extra 2 laps that he's just done.
Yeah. Question is 50% enough to make it to the end? That definitely sounds like it's coming tight.
Well, it looks like Lev has just used just over half a tank. Same with Revs, over half a tank. So, yeah, if he's done 13 laps and he's come out with 50 litres, he's going to have to do a bit of fuel saving, I think.
Yeah.
You'd usually want probably a bit of a dash, another couple of laps thrown in for fuel, I would think.
Yeah, as Kill on the Loose gets by VF. and now Stranger comes out just behind VF as well. So I believe the guys around VF has pit, and he has not. So it's inflating his position slightly.
Lev's in.
On lap
I'm guessing
14,
Revs will come
it.
in. Revs comes in. Yep.
You would
I think
imagine
they'll
so. Yeah, they shouldn't need to go much more than 14 laps. Carbon Boy as well, they're all coming in, yeah. So now the question is, where does Killer on the Loose come out, and Stranger as well? What's the disparity as we are at the halfway mark of this race? It's going to be tight, but I think Stranger's going to take it. Yeah, Stranger into the lead of the race. I mean, not Stranger, Killer on the Loose. Lightning Motorsport lead a lap. But interesting enough, Levenspiel has undercut Stranger. So everything I just said about the undercut from Stranger here, I mean, no,
and he's going to have
overcut.
better tyre.
Yeah, better tyres.
And he's going to have better tyres, and he's got fuel. So, yeah, I think the Stranger might have sort of done himself a little bit of an injustice there somehow.
Must have made a mistake on the outlap for Stranger because...
Oh, he's gone a lot wide. Actually, looking at the Stranger, though, it's now showing that he's got like 2/3 of a tank of fuel, so maybe it was just a bit of a GT7 doing GT7 things.
Maybe. Could have been a bug.
Because it did show only 50 litres when he left, so...
Well, if he's got fuel to go to the entire way, that's all that matters.
Yeah. If anything, he's put in probably extra fuel. Killer hasn't got a lot either. He's under half, but it's more than halfway through, so...
As I think we've lost somebody. Yeah, I think this is where Pruitt disconnected from the race, unfortunately. So, or a couple of laps ago, because I don't think he made it to 50% of the way through.
Is Squirrel gone as well? I'm not showing Squirrel. I'm only showing 11 cars.
So it's Squirrel and Pruitt that are both disconnected. I think they aren't on our screens anyway, so...
Daz is still going on his original tyres.
Ooh, that's interesting strategy. 16 laps on the set of tyres.
VF is just passing him now. While he's trying to get past, he's got brand new tyres.
As we have a big battle pack from Black Project in 4th, all the way down to Gur in 9th, I guess you could say, in this battle pack. So things really starting to close up here in the midfield.
I must have missed something. How did Killer...
Big slide.
How did Killer get so far up in front?
I don't know. He pit early, I think, lap 12. And I think that undercut has given him a little bit of life in this race, but towards the end, his tyres are going to be absolutely killing themselves.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, he's picked up a bit of time having those fresh tyres, while the other guys are running on quite bad tyres.
And with the undercut to Stranger, you would assume that he would also be up with Killer, but yeah, something's happened to Stranger on his outlap, and he's dropped below Levenspiel because all the numbers are pointing towards Stranger leading this race. But
yeah, I did see Stranger have a little bit of a slide on the grass, but like, you know, it maybe lost him half a second sort of thing. I don't see that it's put him that far behind because there's quite a gap between him and Levenspiel. Can sort of count it off a little bit when they come up to this next corner, maybe. It's probably a good 5 seconds between Lev and the Stranger.
Yeah. Also, I figured out how we can tell the gaps. the lap timer at the top of the screen, that should be the gap between the cars. You know what I mean? So the gap between Killer and Levenspiel, Killer's at 120, Levenspiel is at 118.8.
Okay.
So it's about 1.2 seconds this gap.
I see what you mean.
I think that's about the only gap that I can sort of infer from the data that Gran Turismo has given us, aside from the actual splits that we would normally see on a stream on that sidebar. But yeah, so then if we have a look, Strange is about 4 seconds back from Levenspiel. But as things stand, Killer on the Loose leading the way here at Autopolis. Things are very, very tight in this midfield. From Black Project back, there's like nothing between all these cars. So
no, and the strange thing is though, sorry to interrupt, but the strange thing is, I know Lev was right up there with the Stranger, but you look at the Stranger, like Project Revs, Isa, Budsy, they were all in that little pack right at the front, and now they're all way behind Levenspiel.
Yeah. So Levenspiel must have had a good fuel save being stuck behind Budsy for that first stint. It's allowed him to jump the rest of the field and be in a position that's out of sequence. So yeah, he's really the major gain out of that last pit stop. He's played his cards absolutely perfectly, and he's ended up a couple of seconds down the road fighting with Killer, who gained his advantage from the early stop. And somebody else who was on an early stop too was Boybagum. So seeing him down in 7th, that's already a bit concerning for Boybagum's race. If he is down in 7th, but he pit lap 11, so...
And he's got 10 laps to go, and he's gone through over half his tyres.
Yeah, I would imagine Boybagum would be on the 2-stop.
2-stop,
as he hit lap 11. So... yeah, that's the only way I can see his strategy working. But from his lap times, he's only really got one lap time there that's a bit slower than the rest, and it hasn't lost him that much time. So Boybagum has had something.
Levenspiel's taken the lead.
Oh wow, he has too. Good spot there, Snake Eyes.
Because looking at the tyres too, because like you say, Killers came in early. He's got quite a fair bit of tyre wear, whereas Levenspiel's tyres are still like, you know, only got maybe 10% wear at the worst. Whereas Killer, he's getting it down to about 55%, I would say.
Yeah.
I think we're going to find that the Stranger, Project Revs, Budsy, I think them guys are probably going to catch up to Killer. And probably within the next few laps, I'd say.
Yeah. I mean, if Killer is going to the end, that's a long way to go on a set of tyres. 16 laps, I believe. If you have a look at the timing charts. When did he pit? Must have been lap 11, lap 12. So it is lap 11. So he pit the same time as Boybagum, I believe. Just have a look at that. No, he pit the lap after Boybagum. Boybagum was lap 10, lap 11. And Killer was lap 11, lap 12. 12, yeah. So still, that's a long way to go on a set of tyres for Killer. Oh, you see somebody pit? It is Boybagum. So, 9 laps till the end, I believe. Yes, so it'll be this one plus 8 more for Boybagum. Does he put anything in the tank? No, he's happy with the 45%. He reckons it'll get him all the way there. But it's going to be tight on exit between VF and Boybagum. Is VF going to get him? No, Boybagum's going to hold 9th position through the first turn. We see things...
He's got fresh...
Yeah.
He's got fresh tyres, Boybagum, but boy, there's a gap between him and Gurr.
Yeah.
So he's done the 2-stop, but he's really far back.
as that gap about 10 seconds roughly between Gur and Boydgum, from what I can infer. But yeah, we have a massive little battle going on here between Black Project and Budsy as they approach the final sector. Oh, Black Project almost going off the track. Hold your breath, Bumcrack, as Black Project ever so close to sliding off the track there. But he's under a lot of pressure from Budsy. Budsy trying to give him the hurry along, wants to get this move over and done with to move himself up into P5. Knocking on the back door, waits for the door to open, fires it down the inside. The gap opens up as Black Project tries to take the racing line, and Budsy will slide on through, but they're side by side. A little bit of a rear slip from Black Project, and Budsy will slide on through into P5, but Black Project, it's not over yet, looking for a return to sender. No, sensibly holds out. He'll get another opportunity down into turn 3.
He's another one with quite a fair bit of tyre wear, Black Project, compared to the guys around him.
Which lap did he pit? He would have had to pit, yeah, lap 13 it looks like. Lap 12, lap 13, no, it was definitely lap 13. Because it was a 152, 149 lap time for him, so yeah, that's only one lap less than halfway. So he's definitely got a little bit of extra tyre wear, but will he have burnt up his tyres too early in the stint? And now he's going to do 7 laps on absolutely knackered tyres, or whenever they do get knackered. It's up to be seen. We're approaching the end of this race. This is the pointy end of the race where things start to get very interesting.
Yeah, I think that gap between Killer and the Strange is coming down as well.
Yeah, currently at about 4 or 5 seconds. So Killer, he's on 2 laps older tyres to Stranger. So, I mean, naturally, at the end of this stint, that's where you're going to see Killer getting absolutely murdered by this tyre wear.
Yeah, just looking at their times, he's probably only got 1 lap where he's maybe half a second slower. Oh, he's pitted.
Maybe, I think that might be for fuel. 18% in the tank with 6 laps to go.
Yeah, he's got fresh tyres. Oh, he's putting in a lot too.
Yeah, a little bit of fuel, yep. Pulls out of the pit lane. Oh, that's a lot of fuel, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. It's dropped him back into 8th. That puts the Stranger straight back up into 7 and Rev's 3rd.
Yeah, so Rev's onto the podium.
I tell you what, Revs has got better tyres than the Stranger too, because the Stranger pitted that 1 lap earlier. Budsy also has better tyres, so I reckon the last few laps coming into this race is going to get pretty interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Things are
and I mean, you can't
close up.
You can't count out any of these other guys just sitting not far behind either. You know, you've got Black Project, Carbon Boy, you know, they're and Gur, they're all pretty close. There's quite a large gap, I think, back after that, but you know, any of these guys are sitting there ready to take a podium if things work out that way, that's for sure.
Yeah, Killer on the Loose is the next car after Gur, and he's on those fresh softs with a medium fuel load. So I would expect Gur and Killer to fight at some point, but I mean, how late is too late? Like, Killer's running out of time. There's only 6 and a bit laps, 5 laps left in this race. So yeah, it really all comes down to how many laps are left and whether Killer on the Loose has that enough of a tyre advantage to close up the gap, and then if he's still got tyres left to then overtake Gur to potentially take a P7 finish. I think Gur has been struggling this race, so
yeah, he's got a fair bit of tyre wear as well. His front left's down to about a 3rd. Yeah, like it's really hard on the left-hand tyres, this track. I personally found the front left as well easy to really get a lot of wear on it. Yeah. But going through the field there, looks like a lot of people have, you know, significant tyre wear. It's quite an abrasive track, especially those those horseshoe sort of shaped ones that are off cambered. Seems to really wear the tyres.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, quite a few sweepers burn out the tyres. But then also there's a lot of low-speed corners, lots of hairpins, and off-camber corners, which really entice the car to slide. And then you're going to burn out your rears as well. So it's not really a friendly track on tyres at all. Like, you can see some drivers driving very cautiously to preserve their tyres. But yeah, you make a small slide here and there, and it really adds up over a stint distance, and really burns through those tyres quicker than you would be expecting.
Yeah. Even to make 14 laps is, pretty big ask.
Yeah.
The guys that did it have done a fantastic job. Just noticing too, it looks like, going off that timing you were saying, it looks like Lev's about 6 seconds maybe out over the Stranger, so
yeah,
he's really pushing some time out there.
Yeah. Opening the taps in the latter stages of this race.
And Rebs and Budsy are closing up on the Stranger fairly quickly as well.
Maybe Stranger has jeopardised his race, just pitting that extra lap early. Compared to the guys behind, as they pit on lap 14, so did Lev. So those three all have the upper hand on Stranger in terms of pace. Due to the fresher tyres, and Stranger, as we saw in the first stint, hasn't really been treating his tyres the best. So has he cut himself a bit short here, and he's going to have to try and get to the end on, compromise strategy.
Yeah, he has dropped into the 1:42 lap times in that last lap, whereas the guys behind him are still running 1:39s.
Yeah. But I think, I think Lev and the Spiel, barring any mistake, I think he's played his cards absolutely perfectly. And he's on track to win this one. As Stranger is tired to overcome a 6 or 7 second gap.
Yeah, and they've only got a few laps to do it now.
Yeah, 4 laps left to go in this one. First turn now, as we see a bit of a battle between Carbon Boy and Black Project. Carbon Boy has managed to get past... No, that's Gurr and Black Project, my bad. Gurr has managed to find his way past Black Project, so up into P6 now. And look behind, as Kieran Lalous is on fresh tyres, and he's looking very, very pacey. I mean, hasn't managed to crack outside of the 39s so far in this stint, but I imagine we should see him putting in some good lap times over the next few laps. It is quick. Oh, it's because Black Project has gone off. Last lap, a 1:46.7 somewhere along the way, so not ideal for Black Project's race.
I tell you what, there's a couple of those guys down in that field too that are really getting low on those tyres and pretty low on fuel. Actually, Black Project's got his fuel light flashing.
Ooh, yeah, that's concerning. 3.5 laps to go on the fuel light. You're looking at about 4 or 5% per lap of fuel. Yeah, that's definitely cutting it a bit short. He's going to be fuel compromised. There's a little bit of contact between Killer and the Loose as, Black Project obviously trying to save, but he just doesn't have a response for Killer and the Loose, who sweeps on by. Look at the pace difference. Killer and the Loose has already put about a second on him.
Black Project's tyres are pretty worn, especially that left front.
I don't know. 3 laps to go on the fuel light. Tyre and fuel compromised. It's not looking great for Black Project in the latter stages of this race.
Yeah, see, Isa, Budsy, Revs and Lev all got very similar tyres, with the Stranger having the worst amongst that group. Carbon Boy is sitting there quietly in 5th all by himself. How far between him and... He's got a 3 seconds over Gurr. Carbon Boy's got pretty good tyres. Gurr, he's he's got a fair bit of wear on his. I'd be getting a little bit worried about the front left. Like project.
We see Womble in the chat saying, I'm taking $100 bets on Respawn not winning this Div 3 race.
Yeah, there's not one in it.
As this battle for P2 still raging on, Revs and Budsy, they're not making too much progress into Stranger's lead here as they approach the final corner. It seems that pace drop-off for Stranger on the compromised tyres might affect him in these last 2 laps, but yeah, what's the situation looking like between Stranger and Revs? You said that Stranger is definitely on the worst tyres out of the group, but how bad are we talking, Snake Eyes?
The Stranger, I'd say his front left's down to about 20%. He's probably got 10% on the back left.
Ran wide. Lost. Yeah, he's dropped way off the back there, Budsy.
Whereas if you have a look at Revs would have he's probably got 45% on the front left, and he's probably got 20-25% on the back left.
Yeah, so about 10-15% advantage over Stranger, which I guess for 1 lap is quite a lot. So Stranger really been eating up those tyres in the second stint.
Yeah, if I was Stranger, his back left tyre could really come into play on this last lap or so, I'd say.
As Budsy dropped off the back after running wide at the first turn, it seems like Stranger's only sort of threat for this second position is Revs, barring any mistake from the Stranger. Yeah, it's tough to call. I mean, 1 more lap remaining. That is a defendable gap. It's not like Revs is gaining at an exceptional rate on the Stranger. Ooh, yeah.
Considering there was that incident between Revs and Budsy, and I think someone else got caught up in it, maybe Boybegum and that.
Yeah, all 4 of them.
Yeah. For them to be still back up into the positions they are, actually looks like Revs is starting to shake his nose a little bit at the Stranger. Wouldn't be surprised here if he does make a move.
Eager to get this move done is Revs. Not long left in this one.
The Stranger's back left tyre is looking pretty sad.
Through the 3rd turn.
Which is going to be a real strain. It's going to be a shame, you know, because he has run a really good race, the Stranger.
Now, is he able to defend? For the last half a lap we have here at Autopolis, Revs has only got a handful of opportunities to get this move done. One of those is the final corner as well. Oh, shows a nose. Sensible with it. Knows that he has to be patient with this, Revs. Can't sacrifice his exit too much, otherwise Stranger is just going to fight back and return to sender.
I don't think Stranger's back tyre is going to last much. No. And there it goes. He's gone. Oh, that's a shame.
Oh, no. Oh, he's spun off. In the dying moments of this race, that is disaster for Stranger. Just a few corners away from a P2. But that means that Levenspiel and Revs and Budsy will take the podium in this one. Levenspiel rounds the final corner in spectacular fashion, played his cards absolutely perfectly, and he is the victorious here at Autopolis. Revs rounds the final corner with about a half-second gap over Budsy, P2 and P3 for those two, and the Stranger, absolute heartbreak, just a few corners from a P2, and he'll round the final corner. A P4 is nothing to sneeze at either. From pole position, we'll take P4. Carbon Boy only just manages to stay ahead of Kid on the Loose in 6th. We see Gurr in 7th, Boybegum 8th. And we have Black Project and VF and Daz still out on track. But Black Project, fuel compromised, tyre compromised. Wasn't his day today, and he will cross the line in P9. VF rounding the final quarter now. Once again, not his best drive. Won't be too happy with the way the event has gone today at Autopolis. and he'll cross the line to end 28 laps of torture. But Daz, it's even worse for him. He's not had a great outing. Never really got going. Qualified further down the order. And yeah, he's going to come home in P11 today. Last of the finishes here in the Division 3 field. And Boybegum will, of course, take the fastest lap as well there. But that's all she wrote for Division 3.
Wow, that was actually a good race to watch.
Yeah, very entertaining. Lots of moves. Div 3 always throws up some great action. But yeah, without further ado, I think we'll have a look at the race results for Division 3 here. No, that is Division 1. We're not going to reveal the Division 1 results just yet. Okay, so here is how they shape up in Division 3. Levenspiel takes the race win with a 7.2 second gap over Revs in P2. Budsy comes home in 3rd, Stranger in 4th. Carbon Boy takes 5th from P10 on the grid, I believe. Killer on Deluce in 6th. Gur takes 7th. Boybegum, unfortunately, showing great pace, coming home in P8 with the fastest lap. And the second half of the field shapes up like this. Black Project in 9th. We see VF in 10th. Daz 11th. And that was the last of the finishers, with Squirrel and Pruitt not going any further in this one. So, yeah, throw your Driver of the Day submissions down in the comments. We have a few already. Of course, Dad, Driver of the Day. What that? I'm having a stroke reading that. D, Dad of the Day. Dad of the Day, Womble. That's what I'm saying. We see no more Driver of the Day submissions. Come on, guys! You gotta throw your Driver of the Day nominations in chat. Who are you gonna give your Driver of the Day nomination to there, Snake Eyes?
Well, I was actually really thinking that I couldn't really go past Womble and actually give him Driver of the Day, even though he wasn't in it. But just let me bring up. This is a pretty bit of a tough one, to be honest, because so many guys did so well. Like from Revs and Budsy. Budsy, who's been away for the last couple of months, and he's had no wheel or anything to drive with, and he's done a comeback drive, and he's got himself on the podium, so he's done really well. Like I say, Revs got turned around and he got caught up with Killer and Budsy and the rest of them that went off the track, and Boybegum. But I'm probably going to have to give it to Stranger.
Yeah, I mean, I would be inclined to give it to Stranger as well, but I mean, just disaster in the final few corners of the race.
But he did so well, I thought, just to because he hasn't been up. I don't know. I don't. My memory's pretty shod, but I'm just trying to remember where he sort of sits with the standings and stuff. But I think it's been a while since he's podiumed, and he did stick it out there for quite a while. So it was just unfortunate on that last lap. His tyre just gave way at that, on that last lap.
Yeah. So I reckon that we have a look at how those results shape up the point standings in Division 3. It's something that we don't normally have on a night of Sector 1 racing, but as we're streaming the replay, we get to have a look at immediately how the points affect the order. So this is how they shape up. Boybegum, the gap closes between the two of them, Boybegum and Levenspiel. P1 at the moment for Boybegum, Levenspiel in second. Revs takes third in the order. Gur is in fourth. Black Project fifth. Killer Loose sixth. VF seventh. Squirrel eighth. Stranger 9th. Daz 10th. Beaver 11th. Carbon Boy 12th. Budsy 13th. And Prua with his disconnect, fortunately down in 14th. So, yeah, I mean, it's great that we can see immediately how the results that we see on screen affect the championship order.
Yeah, and like I say, like if the Stranger's down in 9th, then this is obviously he's done a really good job for this track. And it's
Yeah.
a difficult track too. It's not an easy track. Like I say, all those off-cambered corners, just the amount of tyre wear that you get on this track, especially the left-hander, is quite substantial. So, yeah, I think you'll even see in the Div 1 race people struggling with the same.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we're going to head to a quick intermission while we sort everything out for the Div 1 race, give ourselves a bit of a break. Still don't know whether anybody else will be joining us in the comms box. We had a few more saying they were going to join, but seems like we're the only ones who ended up rocking up, eh? Hey, Snake
Yep.
Eyes.
It looks like it might be left to me, and I might have to commentary my own crap
Well, we're
race
both
that I
in the
did.
race. Yeah, it's gonna be such an awkward. It's like, oh,
We'll just
Snake
switch
Eyes
between
and
the two of us.
Lenosis. Yeah.
I'll pump you up. You pump my bad drive up.
That's it.
Yeah.
So we'll be right back, guys. We're just going to go for a quick intermission, and then we'll be right back with Division 1. So don't go anywhere. Snake Eyes Lenosis will be back in a few minutes' time. We'll see you guys in very shortly. Hello, everybody. We are back. We are all caffeinated and alcoholated. I don't know. Are you drinking? Probably not. But
Uh,
anyways,
I just made a coffee myself, but
we're all caffeinated here in the comms box, and that's all that matters. We're here for Division 1 qualifying. So that's about to kick off momentarily. Thanks for joining us in the chat. We see a couple more Driver Day nominations come in for Division 3. Dobrev gives his to Revs, Bumcrack to Revs, Levenspiel to Revs, Boybegum to Revs. Oh, we see Jackson Dean in there saying the stranger. So, yeah, Revs gives his to Revs. Isn't that an unwritten rule, how you can't give Driver of the Day to yourself or something? I got in trouble last time I did that. But anyways, yeah, but I think it's very overwhelmingly Revs for Drive of the Day. I would probably say, I don't think I gave my Drive of the Day. I would probably give mine to Revs as well. P6 to P2, solid effort, tangled up in instance, always there or thereabouts. So yeah, my Drive of the Day, Revs, great drive. But yeah, without further ado, why don't we get into Division 1
I just
qualifying.
realised too that I did not save the quali because I didn't realise you could. So who did you say I had to go to?
Geesh. Yeah.
Geez, okay, I should be friends with him.
Some people the
Considering
replay
he's my
doesn't
teammate.
appear. Yes, some people it doesn't appear properly for some reason. I don't know. It only appears if the race gets cancelled. But for me, I checked everywhere when it got cancelled and it didn't appear anywhere. So luckily, Geesh has saved the replay for us, so we have footage of the qualifying session. I believe he said that the only reason he saved it is because he made a bit of a funny mistake. So we'll try and catch that on the replay if we can. Bit of a rare mistake from the reigning champion and current division championship leader. Which, speaking of, let's have a look at the points situation in Division 1 before tonight's race. So Geesh leads the way over Young Wakey by, let me have a closer look. I believe that's 14 points. Speedy Snoopy in third place.
Sorry, just make sure you're looking at last race and not this race.
Yeah, I was very, very careful with the way I set them up to make sure I'm clicking the right one. Goaty in fourth, Woody in fifth, Lanosis in sixth, otherwise known as yours truly. Morgan in seventh, Faf in eighth, Captain Muffin in ninth, Turtle 10th, Noodles 11th, Ricky Bobby 12th, John is in 13th, and GTR rounds out the field in Division 1, and we'll just have a quick look back at our our race strategy graphic. So Division 3, we sort of alluded to the possibility that there could be rain in the later stages of this race. However, Division 1, or Category 1, that rain has a lot larger of a possibility, up to RO6, which out of 8, so 3/4 of the rain meter essentially, is possible under the forecast. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that forecast. It should come in at around lap 16, 17, and could be anywhere towards the end of the race. So we'll just have to wait and see how that shapes up. So how close do you have the replay downloaded? Are you ready to go yet, Snake Eyes, or do I need to blab for a little longer?
No, I'm ready to go.
Okay, here we go. I will just get everything sorted. Okay, so, I mean, it's worked for us twice. We might as well do the good old countdown from 3 to start things off. So I'll click play replay in 3, 2, 1. Oh, fuck, hang on, cancel, sorry. I clicked the wrong
I didn't throw me all the way out this time, which is good.
Okay, let's try that again. I accidentally clicked exit. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay, first few drivers out on track. Faf is ahead of Turtle Power, second out on track. GTR in third there. Woody in fourth. We see Jeesh in fifth. Goaty sixth. And I don't have any audio. I apologize, guys. Sorry about that. Muffin in seventh on track. We see John eighth out on track. Speedy Snoopy ninth. Young Wakey 10th on track. Lenosis 11th. Ricky Bobby 12th. Morgan Davey 13th. And Snake Eyes in 14th. I don't know. It feels weird talking about yourself on track in the third person.
Yeah. I'm just looking at it going, look at that idiot.
Look at that guy in the Resport Esports car that has Snake Eyes written on the side. Well, look at this bloke with the pink wheels out on track. Anyways, well, let's just ignore the fact that we are in the replay ourselves and commentated as if we were just neutral observers.
We could just call them B1 and B2, maybe.
B1 and B2. We can use the race numbers. We'll say number 70 and number 10.
I'm sure we've been called worse.
Anyways, these guys starting their first flying lap. Faf, the first one to make his way towards the first corner of the lap. A lot of firsts this time around. We see GTR running a little bit wide along with our Turtle through the first turn. The first turn very hard to get right, off camber with a gravel trap immediately off the curb. So you run wide and it sucks you to the outside of the track and you immediately get dumped into a ditch of sand. And Jace, the championship leader for Respawn Esports, donning the number 1 on his car. P5 out on the road. Goaty in P6 on the road, looking to get a good lap under his belt. We see Muffin there as well. John, 27 TCT, trying to make his way around the circuit. Sweeper at the moment. See Speedy Snoopy for Red Mist Racing in 9th. Lenosis, 10th driver out on track. We see Morgan Davey just behind the number 33 Deeds entry. Ricky Bobby out on track 12th. We see Snake Eyes. Oh, timing order. Timing screens has messed up the order there a little bit, but not too much to worry about. As Faf rounding this final corner now, or final few sequence of corners, I should say. And as they head up towards the final corner, let's see what Faf can do as a lap time. Rounds the final corner on the power. And he crosses the line, 1:38.8. It's not a blistering time as GTR straight to the top of the times. Let's see what Woody can do. P3 after the first lap. Oh, as Jeesh spins across the line. Oh dear. That's huge drama from Jeesh. But he does manage to go P6 after the first lap despite spinning across the start-finish line. Not the quickest way around the track, it must be said. But yeah, after the first few laps have been settled, Speedy Snoopy straight into the pits. Doesn't set a banker lap interesting enough. Goaty to the top of the times with Captain Muffin just behind, 700 separating those two with GTR a 10th down on that. Immediately into the 37s as well for Goaty there. Didn't quite see what happened to Jeesh at the end of that lap. Did you manage to catch what happened there, Snake Eyes?
No, I just seen him go into a big spin.
Yeah. Well, that must be the special surprise that Jeesh was talking about.
I'm sure he's glad that we've seen it and you put it up on the live stream.
He did tell me he had a crash, but I thought he must have meant when he was coming into the pit lane, not crashing into the pit lane itself, just on a flying lap. But oh well.
Just goes to show you, even the best get it wrong sometimes.
Yeah. And Jeesh is one of the best of the best. Faf peels into the bits. The next two drivers go around. Not too sure who they are. It is GTR and Turtle. Another driver in. Goaty calls it on his second flying lap to peel into the pits. Anybody else peeling in? Not that we can... Oh, yeah, one more driver, potentially. Oh, I crashed. Uh-oh. Let's just get away from that real quick. Me occasionally crashing into the pit wall. Oh, well.
That's where you need the replay for sure.
I completely forgot about that, actually. I forgot I crashed into the pit wall.
That's a really tricky entry. I reckon everyone that comes into it for the first time probably crashes into that wall.
Yeah. It's different from a lot of the pit lanes in Gran Turismo, in that you actually have to navigate yourself into the pit lane, where a lot of them you can sort of just full throttle it straight in and it'll sort itself out, disappear you into space. But yeah, definitely an interesting pit lane to try and get into.
Ooh, Captain Muffin, big slide. He's pushing hard as well.
Let's see what Muffin can do on this lap. Looking like a competitive lap up towards the final corner.
He did have a bit of a slide, so...
GTR's in, so's Turtle. What lap time can Muffin set? Can't go quicker, he's a second down in his lap time. Goaty on his out lap, yet to start a lap. We see young Wakey rounding the final corner. No, he peels in.
He made it into the pits.
Yeah. Ricky Bobby's in as well.
Is it just me, or is the track in some views, depending on which car you're looking at, look very, very misty?
It is very, very misty. As Goaty is a 10th and a half purple here through the first sector. Oh! Muffin's crashed! Not too sure how he's done that, but he has slammed into the wall between the sweeper and the hairpin at the end of the second sector. But yeah, massive moment, tank slapper, and he's ended up in the wall. Not ideal for Muffin.
That Div 4 driver fill-in's pulling over and letting Diswood go through. Try not to keep him.
Driver fill-in.
Yeah. I think when you get put up into one of these divisions just for team points and stuff, you know, you don't really want to get in people's way.
Yeah.
Especially when you're going from Div 4 to Div 1. You just want to, you know, try and get a bit of points for the team and otherwise try and keep out of everyone's way, really.
As we saw there as well, Speedy Snoopy had to take to the escape road at the hairpin at the start of the final sector, potentially just missing his braking marker and ending up in the weeds. Well, he did keep it on tarmac, technically. The layout he was going, the piece of tarmac he was on, would have taken him back to the start-finish line, but yeah, he's done the right thing, done a 360 and come back to the start, rejoin the circuit, I should say. Jeesh to the top of the times, a 37.5. That is a very rapid lap. He'll be very, very happy with that. Straight to pole position. As Goat is on a personal biggest lap, but he needs to save 3/10 if he wants to overcome Jeesh here. Now, funny enough, okay, I might be wrong. Hang on, let me just fact check this before I open my mouth. Yeah, okay, I was correct. So the gap currently between Jeesh and Goaty is 0.333. Now this season, because Jeesh won the championship, he is sporting the number 1, but Jeesh's regular race number is 333. So I just think that's a funny coincidence there.
There it is. There's not much between the goat and well, I was about to say
there's nothing
Muffin
at
Man,
all.
but then GTR just dropped in.
Yeah, 1,000th behind Goaty there, and then 700ths back to Muffin. But yeah, we see John and Lenosis fighting it out on the final corner. A little bit of a flash of the headlights there as they cross the start-finish line. John goes 13th fastest, and Ricky Bobby, do or die lap here through the final corner. What's it going to be? Approaches the start-finish line. He's last. Goes to 8th place. That's a good lap for Ricky Bobby to get himself into a well-deserved place there. As we have the rest of the field. Who else is still on a lap? I can't find them. It is Speedy Snoopy. And who is this final driver? It is Morgan Davey, who is well and truly down. So he, not on a representative lap there. As that is qualifying run and done in Division 1 here. We'll have a look at the results of that session. So Jeesh takes P1. He is joined alongside the front row of the grid by Goat. GTR takes 3rd with Captain Muffin alongside Young Wakey in 5th with Turtle in 6th. Speedy Snoopy 7th, Ricky Bobby 8th. And the second half of the grid is as follows. Woody will start in 9th with Lenosis alongside Faf in 11th, Morgan Davey 12th. A certain Division 4 fill-in will start in 13th, and John rounds out the grid in 14th there. So, yeah, definitely a very interesting qualifying session, it needs to be said. Lots of storylines. I mean, Jeesh managed to set a lap good enough for P1 to take pole position. With Goaty alongside, I mean, Goat, he's been there or thereabouts all season. And throughout practice, we've seen some good laps from him. So, yeah, it's not surprising to see Goat towards the front of the field. However, Muffin up the front where he is, that's very good qualifying. He'll be very happy with that to see his starting slot. So, yeah, anything to add, Snake Eyes?
No, it was surprising that Jeesh, after having that crash on the front straight, pulled himself together to stick down a good lap time and get that first position.
Speaking of, apparently, Jeesh is telling us that we have to watch the pit lane again, because apparently he's had a second crash into the pit lane.
Oh dear.
I thought it was only one. Apparently Jeesh has crashed into the pit lane twice in one qualifying session. I think for Jeesh's dignity, I think it's better that we didn't.
He's saying the pit. He's saying the pit entrance. So maybe he's actually come in when he came into pit for tyres. He must have had a bit of a hit as well.
I don't know. Definitely not Jeesh-like to crash into the pit lane twice in a single qualifying session. That's for sure.
No.
I also completely forgot that we need to go get the other replay. I was sort of expecting the race director to just hit the button, you know?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, between 2nd, 3rd and 4th, not much in it.
Sorry for the awkward pause. I was stuffing my face full of food. But here we are. Have you got your replay ready to go?
Yep, just give me a second. I have been inundated with a dog, I think. I know.
Oh, okay. A snake has been introduced to the snake. A dog has been introduced to the snake pit.
To the snake pit, yeah.
A snake to the snake pit. I think you'd be a bit more stressed if a snake was introduced to the snake pit.
Yeah. Yep, but I'm ready when you are.
Okay. 1 second. I'm just taking advantage of the Sector 1 comms box catering.
It's going to be a little bit interesting with this one as well because Div 3 didn't get any rain at all. If one gets rain and people are on a one stop, depending on where that rain comes in, could really affect everything because then they'll have to, if the rain comes in after say that 14th lap where they have to pit, then they'll obviously have to pit again, which can sort of blow out the strategy. Whereas if you're doing a two stop and you pit on that lap 9, lap 10, that could come into play as that second set of tyres are starting to wear, and you're coming in for your second pit. You might be able to go straight onto inters or wets depending on what you're going to run.
Yeah, exactly. It also comes down to when it comes in exactly. Like, if it comes in about lap 20, that's still not ideal if you're on a one-stop, because you would have stretched your tyres to make it last 14 laps, losing bucket loads of pace to try and make those tyres last, and then you're not going to get the most out of that second set of tyres. Whereas if you're on a two-stop, you're already planning to pit about that point where the rain is scheduled to come in. So it ultimately just comes down to that.
I
being
know
at the
one
right
of the
place
guys
at the right time.
I know some idiot in this race. He's seen all the rain come and stretched his one stop out to like 15 laps, and so he did the last lap before his pit stop on pretty much a bald front left tyre, and then thought, oh, the rain's coming, it's starting to sprinkle, and he has the map up, and so he flicks it onto a set of inters and then nothing.
Oh.
So, I won't say who that was.
Gotta love it. Anyways, without further ado, let's jump into this Division 1 race. 28 laps around Autopolis. Rain on the way, anything can happen. So let's do the good old tried system of the countdown. So I'm going to click play replay in 3, 2, 1. As the light sequence begins, 5 lights. They are out and racing here at Autopolis. Looks like Jeesh gets off to a good start, covers off Goat, who looks straight for the slipstream as they head down into the first corner. And, as we see, that's huge action! And they're all going down. That's Muffin and Woody, both off the track. That is disaster in the opening stages of this race. Woody has absolutely messed up that first turn, and he's been a torpedo straight into the side of Muffin, who started this race in such a confident position. But they're going to continue on. It's not enough for a red flag, so they'll continue on down towards the sweeper now. Jeesh holds his lead over Goaty in P2. Young Wakey in third. We have GTR, who's been promoted up the order with Speedy Snoopy, Faf, Ricky Bobby, Morgan Davey, John, Lenosis, Turnal, as we see a move from Lenosis, potentially gets chopped off the nose of John there, as we see a lot of action, very, very tight action at the start of this race. Another move from Lenosis, gets the nose chopped off. John not wanting to give up this position in the early stages of the race. But Jeesh, stretching his legs already, has about a 1 second gap over Jeesh on this first lap. Very exciting stuff in the first opening stages of this race. 1 of 28 down, 27 to go. Into the final corner now. We see Faf, who's made up a multitude of positions on the start. Same as Ricky Bobby. Actually, I think Ricky Bobby started 8th. So 1 position made for Ricky Bobby there. And John, who started dead last, up into P9. He was the real capitalization of that opening incident. We see Speedy Snoopy down the inside of Faf. Oh, defends his position well, but Faf still looking for a way past. We see Ricky Bobby getting involved there, thinking about a move, dives down the inside. Oh, can't quite get it done. So we see Lenosis and John side by side through turn 3, through turn 4. They're neck and neck, but John gets a whole car length in front, and they will settle down for the hairpin. Snake Eyes rounding out behind Turtle as well there in P12, as Jeesh really starting to stretch the legs now over Goaty and Young Wakey. P2 and 3. Are we going to see a move from Young Wakey? No, we aren't. Sensible stuff from the top 4 at the moment. Speedy Snoopy gets a little bit of breathing room from Faf. We see Ricky Bobby behind Faf here, as we see a massive battle pack starting to form here. We see another move, potentially, from Lenosis. Peels to the inside, down the inside of John, gets it done just about, and Turtle will fly on by as well. John losing 2 positions in 1 corner. Not the kind of defense that you would need in that corner for John, and he'll get demoted down the order. But as it stands, Faf trying to cling onto the back of Speedy Snoopy for P6. But he's under a lot of pressure from Ricky Bobby, who is trying everything to get past Faf at this point of the race. Sheesh sets the fastest lap of the race, quickly improved by Young Wakey, a 137.863. So they barrel down towards the first turn. Ricky Bobby tries around the outside of Faf. Goes defensive, does Faf. Ricky Bobby's going to try and sweep it around the outside. Oh, so very nearly. But Faf will hold the inside line. This is incredible racing that we're seeing in the opening stage of this race. Ricky Bobby looking for the switchback. Doesn't quite have the run on Faf through turn 5 and turn 6. But these guys, it's going to stay how it is for now. Ricky Bobby still trying to find a way past Faf. Can't quite do so. As we have a look back up front, the situation still the same. No movement through the opening 5. Faf under a lot of pressure, starting to lose touch with Speedy Snoopy now. Look at the cars in the background. There's 6 or 7 within just a couple of seconds. Tenths separating each car on this run down the hill. Faf is fighting for his life, trying to hold on to P6, but it's going to be tough ask. Runs wide. Oh, dips 2 wheels off the track. Ricky Bobby almost had his foot in the door, but Faf slams the door shut, running wide. He is all over the show. He is really holding up this field. Look at them all starting to bunch up behind. Ricky Bobby has the nose down the inside, but that becomes the outside. It's off camber. No way through, as Ricky Bobby trying to get past. He's going to try it. Oh my goodness. This is truly elbows out racing from Faf, managing to hold the rest of the field behind him as they begin the 4th lap. Faf is in a lot of trouble now. He hasn't got the slipstream from Speedy, but he's got 3 or 4 cars really trying to push around, as we see 2 by 2. And Lenosis around the outside of Morgan. Ricky Bobby gets pushed off by Faf, and through goes Lenosis, and Morgan Davey almost loses it on the inside. They're all 3 wide into the corner. Morgan Davey, no, that's Faf down the inside. Lenosis has the inside, outside. Oh my goodness, huge racing. Oh my goodness. As they're still 2-3 wide. Faf dropping down to P8. Turtle's in there. Ricky Bobby's in there. John's in there. Muffin's in there. They're all in there trying to put their hell. Oh my goodness, I'm speechless. What racing are we seeing in the opening stages of this race? There's 6 or 7 cars all on track battling it out. We see Turtle trying to go down the inside of Faf. Little bit of contact. No. But they're side by side. Faf opens up the door, but Turtle can't quite get the run as he was on the inside line. Down towards the sweeper now. Turtle still trying to find a way past Faf. Can't quite do it. Faf is a man on a mission. He's fighting for his life here. Defense everywhere. The racing line just doesn't apply to Faf at the moment, because he just needs to stay offline to defend his position. But Turtle pulls alongside, but the outside will become the inside. John goes through as well. Oh, huge contact, and that's Turtle facing the wrong way. Oh my goodness. It was a Constantina effect. A little bit of contact from John, a little bit of contact from Faf, and Turtle ends up facing the wrong way, fighting side by side with John on the run, Woody on the run down towards the first turn. What racing are we witnessing? This is absolutely incredible to watch. I don't think Snake Eyes has said a word in about 10 minutes, because I have just been non-stop the entire time. Holy moly.
I was just sitting back watching the action. That was pretty crazy.
Oh, I need to catch my breath. We're only 5 laps in.
That was tight. It was just like you were trying to open up the door. Once you opened up the door and got past FAF, everyone was having a shot then.
Yeah, it was truly spectacular racing from everybody involved to make sure that for the most part everyone kept it facing the right direction. There was a little bit of contact, and unfortunately Turtle was turned around facing the wrong way. But in terms of the amount of action that we saw and the cleanliness of the driving, it was very clean for what was happening. But we see Faf still fighting for his life in P8, looking to try and hold on to the position, but he has an angry looking Ricky Bobby, Captain Muffin and John sitting behind, waiting in the wings, hoping to pounce as soon as the door opens. Let's see what happens through the final sector now. The door opens up a little bit. Ricky Bobby pulls alongside. Is he going to try around the outside of FAF? He does get it. He sweeps around the outside. They're side by side through the final corner. And Ricky Bobby, he might go on by as Muffin is in there as well. He's got the nose in there. 3 wide down the back straight. This is absolutely incredible. Now Ricky Bobby looking to the inside of Faf. Faf is getting taken on by both sides. Outside and inside, they're 3 wide through the first turn. What is this? This is amazing battling that we're seeing. And now John's getting about 4 wide, are they? Almost. Oh my goodness, Ricky Bobby goes through. John's on the inside, Muffin on the other. Oh, John, he's been spun. No, he hasn't. He still holds on to it. But he takes the inside line and he's going to go by on Muffin. Muffin is going to lose the position to FAF, who follows John by. All of that, Muffin is down in P11. He's lost a position after looking so racy. But what that means is that Ricky Bobby is free. John goes through. And now Faf is holding on to 10th position, but not for long. So we see Muffin down the inside, and he gets that move done on Faf as they're side by side on exit. But Muffin will get the move done, and Faf down to P11, was in P5 just a few laps ago. He is absolutely on the back foot. Oh wow, and now that's bringing Snake Eyes into things. He can see Faf in his sights and he's looking for a move as well. But we see Muffin still looking for that move, looking to keep going forwards, keep pushing. He started P4, he has the pace, and he wants to get by John as soon as possible. Holy moly.
See, Jeesh and the Goats pretty much moved out a bit of a gap over GTR. And then I think GTR and Young Wakey they're sort of sitting really close. And not far behind them, Speedy Snoopy, and then back to Lenosis. Lenosis and gained a bit of a gap since he's got past FAF. So has Morgan Davies. He's got breaking out a little bit of a gap. But I'm probably not going to get too far away. Another couple of laps, start to see people coming in for a 2-stop. So I don't know if you want to do a bit of me to go through the tyres and give your voice a little bit of a break for a moment.
A tyre and fuel update would be absolutely epic, Snake Eyes, thank you.
No, nothing's going to come up as sober Snake Eyes, or
no.
Anyway, so out in front we've got Jeesh. His tyres he's probably down to about 50%, getting 50-55%. Goats would be slightly better. He's probably got about 60% on his. GTR 50%. Young Wakey 50%. Speedy Snoopy's a little bit better. Probably 55. Lenosis 55. Morgan Davies down to about 50. 55 for Ricky Bobby. Jay Shepherd 55. Captain Muffin 50, FAF 50, Snake Eyes 50, 55, Turtle Power 55, this Wood, oh, his front left's got quite a bit of weight. He's coming into pits too. Is this Wood on controller, do you know?
Yes, he is. One of the best on controller.
Yeah, like the guy's super fast, like especially, I can't believe how quick he is on a controller for someone that's never really used a controller. and struggles just to actually go through the menu and flick between drivers and stuff. It's crazy, but I think it's really hard for a controller guy, from what I understand, to control tyre wear as well.
Yeah, it is. I mean, usually Woody's alright for controlling the tyre wear, but a track like this, very abrasive, high tyre wear, it's just too much for him. I'm fairly certain he does have a wheel. He just opts to use a controller because it means that he can stay within arm's reach of the BRS.
That's fair enough. You got priorities, man.
Yeah. As we see this battle between Faf and Turtle raging on. Muffin still looking for a way past John. But we see Morgan Davey seems to be taking the role of Faf over the last few laps. And now he has a queue of cars forming behind him, with Ricky Bobby heading the charge, trying to find a way past. Oh, opens up the gap and he's going to fly on by. Great move by Ricky Bobby to get on by and up into P7. But now Morgan might be struggling. He might have to attack. He's going to attack Ricky Bobby, who doesn't get the best of exits. Down into the first turn. Morgan Davey fires it down the inside. Ricky Bobby tries around the outside. John's going to follow him through. And now that's Muffin involved as well, who's going to fire on by. And that's Ricky Bobby from on the attack, losing 3 positions in a matter of 1 corner. No, he's holding his own, keeping the foot in the door, and he's going to say no to Muffin. He says, the other 2 can have it, but you can't have it. This is my position. And he's going to fight till the last battle to try and hold his position. Muffin holding P10 at the moment. He won't be happy with that at all. Hoping to try and fight his way through the field. We have a look down as well. We have Turtle, who's managed to find his way past Faf. And Snake Eyes getting involved in this battle as well. Not too many a big battle on track, I should say. Oh, we see somebody off. Who's off? Oh, John's off! He's crashed! Oh, dear. As we'll try and have a look at the replay, see if we can catch it. It might knock our things out of sync, but let's see what happens. As, oh, it was Ricky Bobby and John. They were side by side, and John tried to come across, but the gap just wasn't there, and he just ended up in the weeds. So where is Geesh on track? Oh!
Goat's just got in front of him.
What's the timer down in the bottom corner? I think that might be a better way to...
15:09.
Alright, we're 1 second apart. We can deal with that. As Goat, yeah, he's got past Geesh. At the end of this first stint, towards the end of this first stint, we see a few people pitting. We see Faf, John, Young Wakey, GTR pitting, the first few pitters of this race. We see Speedy Snoopy up into P3 due to the stoppers. Lenosis to 4th, Captain Muffin to 5th, who's managed to get past Morgan Davey as well. So a lot has happened since last time we were clued into this battle. Oh, it was, of course, yeah, John and Ricky Bobby coming together.
Sort of Speedy sort of sitting out there in no man's land by himself with a gap front and rear. He was the one that was bumped up from Div 2, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Definitely a good call. He's doing really well.
And currently P3 in the championship. So he is absolutely, he is absolutely
definitely a
proving
alien
himself. Yeah, I mean, because he got placed in Division 2 because he didn't have he had quite a lackluster pre-qualifying time, and he got placed into Division 2, whitewashed the first 2 races, and then he was bumped up, rightfully so, to Division 1, where he is absolutely fighting hammer and tong and proving that he belongs here. And that is very true. Currently sitting P3 in the race with a pit stop left to come. He got a podium last race as well. P2, I believe. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, Speedy Snoopy proving that he belongs in this field. Very quick operator. And Womble over at Red Mist will be very happy with the driver that has come his way.
I'll tell you what, that Lenosis fella's not doing too bad too. He's put himself up into 4th. He's got Speedy Snoopy in his sights as well.
Yeah, that's true. Captain Muffin isn't too far away either, but he's a little bit
spread
astray.
themselves out a bit.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see. I thought the start bidding now if they're going for a 2-stop.
Yeah. As Godey's got away from Geesh here, he's putting the gap on Geesh. Currently at about 1 second between these two, so definitely pushing on is Godey. Interesting to see what lap these guys pit. It is currently lap 11. We're expecting him to be in about lap 14 to assume these guys are on the 1-stop. Now, when would Geesh be pitting? That's the big question, because he's clearly losing time to Goat. And can go. Oh,
there goes Geesh.
He's in.
Geesh is in. Just want to point out too on. Sorry.
Snoopy goes around. Lenosis pulls in.
I was just gonna say, the Goat's got get well soon. Sean Ghost Mueller, 24, on the side of his car in support of the Ghost.
Yeah, quite a few cars on the grid have it, such as the APR session cars, CP cars have it. Yeah, Deed's car has it. A lot of people coming to the pits as well, I should say. I meant to say, I don't know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, it's good to see the solidarity. Yeah, we see Godey's car has it. Almost every car on the grid showing support to the Sector 1 Hall of Famer, Sean Ghost Muller, which it's great to see. We've had a look on the GoFundMe over the last few days. You would have seen that the goal that was originally set has well and truly been passed, and you just love to see it. The community banding together, raising money for such a great cause. And I mean, even though it's something small, just all the cars showing their solidarity, all the teams showing their support for somebody who's given so much to Sector 1. It's just a love you love to see it.
Yeah, it's good because like once we get on track, you know, it's the gloves sort of come off a bit. It's, you know, everyone's in there to try and do their best, but off track, you know, it's a pretty big family, really.
Yeah. As we have a look back up to the top of the order of the guys who are yet to pit, it is Godey and Speedy Snoopy, P1 and 2. GTR has pit, so is Young Wakey and Geesh, as these guys are about to have a colossal battle as the converging strategies of the 1-stop and 2-stop begin to line up. As we see GTR and Young Wakey about to start throwing haymakers at one another. Two heavyweights of this Division 1 field. GTR finding himself a little bit further down the standings than he would have liked this season, but still proven as a 3-time Sector 1 champion. So in a world of his own, absolutely incredible on his day. Same as Young Wakey, 2 Sector 1 wins to his name. No, 3 Sector 1 wins to his name in the top flight, and I'm trying to count, quick math, 10 outside of the top split. So he's got 13 wins in Sector 1 in all divisions. So Young Wakey making a name for himself. He's still very young, the youngest driver in Sector 1, just a teenager. Well, only just a teenager actually. I believe he's only 13, Young Wakey. And he is carving it up with some of the world's best here in Division 1.
The Goat's in. It's going to be interesting to see where the Goat and Snoopy come out, because quite a bit of a gap back to GTR and Young Wakey.
Yeah.
But it looks like they're about to get past. Yep.
Remember, GTR will still have to make another stop, as these two have just set the fastest laps of the race, GTR and Young Wakey. Only half a tenth separating them on that last lap. 37.4 is absolutely rapid pace, and they're both purple.
A bit of a worst thing too, that Div 4 driver's sitting in 6th place currently.
Yeah. Yet to pit.
Yet to pit, yeah, that's true. Yet to have his crash.
Foreshadowing.
I know the guy had worked something like 16 days straight and just had his own race before that and was struggling pretty badly, I think.
Yeah.
That's all the excuses I've got for him, but yeah.
As GTR leads the way ahead of Young Wakey, as that gap is sort of staying stagnant at about 2 or 3 tenths as they head through the sweeper, approaching the tight and technical part of the lap.
Geesh is on a move as well. He's putting down some pretty fast lap times. That's the thing though, when there's people are on different strategies. You got some people on 2 stops, some people on 1 stop. It can look like someone's quite a fair way down the field, but then you know, you get to that 24th, 25th lap, and you start to see them all of a sudden be more towards the pointy end.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a look a little bit down the order. We see things are sort of closed up between Speedy, Snoopy, Lenosis, and Captain Muffin here. The Snake Eyes is sitting in behind as well. But yeah, Muffin has really closed up that gap to Lenosis through the pit stop. That gap was about 8 or 9 seconds, and now it looks to be about 2 or 3. So yeah.
Snake Eyes running on a bald tyre, trying to get himself up in thinking the rain's about to come, but no. Don't want to give too much away, but yeah, there was prediction of rain, so
forecast to come in the next few laps. So let's just wait. Oh, we saw a wiper there. Snake Eyes' wipers were on for a second there, so maybe a couple of water droplets on the circuit. Oh yeah, definitely, that's wipers. And he's not the only one. So is this rain going to intensify over the next few laps? Has Snake Eyes made an absolute genius strategy and got himself into a very, very good spot? I think he's the only car yet to pit in this race, and the wipers are on for most drivers. Is this going to come into fruition though? Is the rain going to form? No, none of the front guys are pitting just yet, so they reckon it's safe to do one more lap, but their wipers are off. Just seems to be on the other side of the circuit, where the wipers
started up again.
Yeah. Quite a few cars' wipers are on, but Snake Eyes is in. Maybe Snake Eyes thinks that the wet tyres are the way to go.
Idiot.
As we'll have to wait and see what tyres go on the car as he pulls out. And I don't think the game told us, was it softs? Back up to the front, we see GTR bridging a bit of a gap back to Young Wakey in P2, who's starting to come under fire from Geesh, who is lighting up the timing screens. Purple, purple, purple for Geesh. With a 37.382. That is cooking absolutely rapidly disgusting pace in this Division 1 field. Holy moly, that is quick.
I can't see anyone's window wipers going now.
No, it seems like it's passed. Seems like that's all the rain that's come down for the moment.
Very unpredictable GT7. It's yeah. Sometimes you think you're going to get a big downpour and you get nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. It was in the forecast. supposed to rain in the latter stages of this race, but it seems to have gone away for the most part now. Things are starting to brighten up as well. I mean, it was quite foggy earlier on in this race, but for now, it seems like the alpine mist has gone away, and yeah, starting to clear up a bit. Starting to see a bit sunshine actually, peeping through the clouds.
Tell you what, things are starting to heat up between Young Wakey as well, and they're pushing on towards GDR. Didn't you say GDR is still?
Oh, big slide from Young Wakey. Yeah, GTR should be on the 2 stop. He pitted a lap 10 or 11, 10, I believe. So he's definitely gonna have to pit again. Oh, as Snake Eyes switches off the intermediates and chucks back on the soft tyre. But GTR, seems like that gap is starting to come down, but Jeesh on an absolute mission, on a charge to try and catch the young Kraken Esports driver.
Jeesh has got a lot better tyres than Wakey.
As Jeesh, Wakey goes defensive. Jeesh tries around the outside, sweeps around the outside, gets Young Wakey on the exit, a little bit of contact, but these guys seem to be holding each other true for now. Side by side, into turn 3, the braking zone. Wakey will go through on Jeesh. The return to sender not there, the switchback move not on for Jeesh. Into the turn 6 hairpin now. Jeesh looking for a late apex. Oh, big slide. Loses touch with Young Wakey for a split second there. That was a massive moment. Car control from Jeesh to keep the car pointing in the right direction. Into the hairpin of 9. On the run down towards the sweeper.
Sticks his nose out, puts it back in. Like we said at the start, very hard track to pass on.
A little bit of psychology involved in overtaking at this track. You need to sort of send your opponent defensive to sacrifice their line in a complex of corners. And that's exactly what Jeesh was trying to do, trying to make Young Wakey blink. But Young Wakey, wise to Jeesh's games, holds off, sticks to his line and calls Jeesh's bluff. But Jeesh, closer than he was last lap, has the run this time round. Young Wakey, very defensive. Jeesh tries to go even more narrow, but the room just isn't there. We'll have to try around the outside once again. He edges in front, and they're on the... very, very tight stuff, yeah. A little bit of contact.
Car control to be able to bring that back.
Yeah.
Especially when you've got your back end hanging out over the curb.
Rubbing is racing. These two have enjoyed some lovely battles this season, and this race is no different. Jeesh and Young Wakey battling it out, hammer and tong, as we've seen so many times before. Through the sweeper, Jeesh gets a run. He's close enough to try and move. Wakey defensive. Jeesh to the outside. Out breaks him. Oh, a little bit of contact. He goes off the track. Jeesh into the gravel trap. Oh my goodness. Goat goes through. Young Wakey holds on to P2, but it might come with a steward's inquiry. That's the sound of the steward's pens clicking. Jeesh outbroke Young Wakey, but Young Wakey, eager to hold onto the position, tried to hold Jeesh out high and dry, but it just resulted in contact, which saw Goaty, the biggest winner out of all of that, up a position and crucially in front of Jeesh. Speedy Snoopy isn't too far out of the equation either, as he's
GTR's in.
Oh, GTR in. That's interesting.
So Young Wakey, I was going to say, oh, he's pitted as well, but I was going to say he was going to have to pit as well.
As Goaty inherits the lead of the race here. Now, if Young Wakey's in, does that mean Jeesh is going to have to come in too? Because they pit on the same lap. So that potentially means that Goaty is on track P1 and also doesn't need another pit stop.
No, his tyres look really good.
Oh.
He's got 8 laps to go. Deesh has got about 50%.
So he's got fuel to go to the end. How are his
80.
tyres looking?
Deesh? Or Snoopy?
Or does Jeesh not have
Jeesh?
fuel? No fuel?
Nah, Jeesh has got nearly half a tank. He's got plenty of fuel and he's got 50% tyre.
So Jeesh could go to the end too here.
Yeah. It's just that Goat's going to have a lot better tyre because he's probably using 20%.
Yeah, Goat is on 2 lap fresher tyres than Jeesh. So that's that advantage. I mean, all signs are pointing to Goat right now. Got the fuel, got the tyre advantage, and he's got
4 seconds or something by the look of it.
Got track position, fuel and tyres to go to the end.
That spin obviously put Jeesh that, quite a fair way back as well, so he lost quite a few positions.
Something as well, Muffin has managed to get in front of Lenosis for P4 here, and now he's on a charge to try and catch up to Speedy Snoopy. 8 laps to go in this one. Yeah,
pretty big gap between Lenosis and GDR, but GDR's got brand new spanking tyres.
Yeah.
Muffin and Lenosis pretty close to the same on tyres. Speedy Snoopy's got good tyres as well, and he's sort of sitting in no man's land in a really good position for a podium.
As Turtle's in on lap 20 as well. We see, John's got a 3-second penalty, so he must have picked that up from the pit lane, an infringement somewhere, but that's going to slow him down massively, and also opens the door up potentially for Seikos to get involved here. But not too far down the road is Goaty, who's about to overlap those two in the next few laps. As the gap between Muffin and Lenosis sort of holding stagnant for the moment. 7 laps left to go in this affair. Ricky Bobby and Faf, it's been the story of the whole race. These two, it's like peas and carrots. They've been alongside one another the entire duration.
Tell you what, the Goat's not hanging about either. He's putting down some decent lap times.
Yeah, I only just dropped into the 38s. So almost an entire, or half a stint of 37s before edging into the 38s. Absolutely cooking rapid pace for Goaty here at Autopolis, showing no signs of slowing down. 6.5 laps to go for Goaty, separating him with a victory. And I think it might be Goat's. He's on for his first ever Sector 1 top split win, I believe. I'm just going to check the records real quick. But I have a feeling it's he's on for his first ever Division 1 win. Or we can get somebody to fact check me in the comment section. That's good too. See this battle between Lenosis and Muffin still raging on. And a little bit further back, Faf and Ricky Bobby still going.
There has been a little bit going in the chat, and so it looks like the Goat's actually been in there, so...
Yeah, Goat will be able to tell us whether it's his first or he's had a couple in his top split. I mean, Goat's been with Sector 1 for ages, so I'm sure he might have another one, or this might be his first. Let's just see what Goat says.
Did he come straight into Div 1, or has he worked his way up?
I know that when he... Oh, Jeesh has pit as well. with 5 laps left to go. I know Goaty, well, he went away from Sector 1 for a season or 2, but then he came back this season, so, and then he came straight into Division 1 this season, but his last season would have been Season 5, where he was fighting in, well, it was a different system back then. It was Category 1, which was both Group A and B, and the drivers would switch between the the groups, depending on their results.
Okay.
But, yeah, he was racing in Category 1 then, and then, not too sure for that. I know Goat's been in Category 1 for a while. Don't know whether Goat raced in Category 2 though. I mean, Goat's in chat. Surely he just fact checks us. Like, surely.
You'd think so.
Yeah. But GTR really pressuring Lanosis and Muffin on lap 23 here of 28. And the gap opens up and GTR flies on through on Lanosis. The headlights have come on as well for most of the cars, so that could mean that the rain is on the way in the late stages of this race. Oh, Muffin's in! 3% in the tank. Oh, that's fuel-induced. He probably had the tyres to go to the end of the race, but oh, he's in with 3% in the tank. He's gonna need to chuck tyres on and put fuel in the tank. But as it stands, GTR up into 3rd place. With Lanosis behind, we see Young Wakey and Jeesh lighting up the timing screens just behind. Young Wakey and Jeesh, this battle's still raging on. Which, quietly under the radar, Speedy Snoopy up into P2. How has he managed to pull this off?
Yeah, he's doing real well.
As Young Wakey and Jeesh closing on Lanosis rapidly as they come through the turn 9 hairpin. And to begin the final sector of lap 24. Lanosis is struggling on tyres as we see the high-flying Young Wakey and Jeesh closing up that gap at an absolutely rapid pace. 3 seconds alone on this lap. The gap on the front straight at the start of the lap was almost half the length of the straight, and now just a mere couple of car lengths. As we'll see what happens as they round the final corner. Young Wakey right up underneath the rear wing of Lanosis. Flashing the headlights, but he's not entitled to give way here, Lanosis. He can race them, but I don't think he has the tyres or the fuel to race them. As we see Wakey go through on Lanosis with Jeesh just behind. No, Jeesh is going to go through as well. Tyre compromised Lanosis. Does not have enough rubber left on his tyres to fight the championship leader.
He has come back and he said this would be his first win.
Okay.
And he used to bounce between Group A and Group B.
Yeah. That's what I thought. I know my stuff. Yeah. I remember in my first few races in Sector 1, I had the honour of racing Goat. I think it was my first good finish in Category B. And Goaty actually went on to win that race at, I think it was round 3 at Circuit de Catalunya, back in the Porsches of Season 5, so yeah.
Yeah, I only started partway through last season, so it's my first full season, so still don't know all the drivers.
Yeah.
Their accomplishments.
As this battle between Jeesh and Young Wakey is raging on, as has done the entire length of the race. Let's see what happens as they head down towards the start-finish line to start the 26th lap. Jeesh is closer than he's been on previous occasions. He's going to fire it down the inside. No, goes defensive, does Wakey. Jeesh tries around the outside. He's going to sweep around the outside this time. He's going to get it done. A little bit of contact. Oh, that's huge. No. Young Wakey's binned. Jeesh, he's into the gravel trap. Lenosis goes through up into P5, but Jeesh has been left high and dry, and he's been absolutely sent to the Shadow Realm, playing in the sand pit, the kitty litter. That's all he was left. And Young Wakey will continue on in P4, a little way off GTR in P3. Goaty continuing on with an absolutely monumental gap, about 10 seconds there back to Speedy Snoopy. So he's just a couple of laps away from his debut win in Sector 1.
I might take a screenshot of that because it looks like Snake's just sitting behind the leader. Even though he has been lapped.
Yeah, well, he's still behind the leader.
Yeah.
As we see Muffin and Ricky Bobby, P7 and 8, I believe Muffin has got the better of Ricky Bobby and flown on by. Ricky Bobby managed to get past Turtle and Faf as well. Now, has Ricky Bobby pit for a second time, or is he still on his second stint? Snake Eyes?
That I can't tell you. I'll have a quick bit of a look at his tyres, see if I can.
Are they worn or not worn?
Yeah, Ricky Bobby's quite a fair way down. Like he's got enough left for another lap, but Muffin's got like near brand new tyres.
Yeah, because Muffin only picked 2 or 3 laps ago, so
yeah.
Freshies.
Turtle's got really good tyres as well, but I just don't know. There's a pretty big gap between him and Ricky.
Yeah, let's see how things close up there. We look back up to the situation between P5 and 6. Sheesh has closed that gap back up to Lenosis, who is running on nothing. No tyres at all, I don't think. Can you confirm or deny that, Snake Eyes?
Yeah, he's got completely bald left tyres.
Oh, and Lenosis just lifts off to let Jeesh on by. But yeah, completely bald tyres.
Yep. Lefts are completely bald, rights aren't much better.
Crawling around this final sector.
This just goes to show you though the skill of the Div 1 drivers to be able to drive still, you know, and still do laps that, you know, probably wouldn't put them too badly in Div 4, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, lap times aren't looking too good for Lenosis. A 1:43.2 on that last lap, and it is the final lap of the race. And Goat has an absolutely monumental lead, and this is going to be a celebratory lap for the Goat. Into the turn 9 hairpin now. As we have a look back down to Ricky Bobby and Turtle, and you said that gap was quite large, but it's already closed up and is very, very tight between these two. Turtle on fresh tyres, Ricky Bobby on practically old tyres.
Yeah, his back left's completely gone, Ricky Bobby, and his front left, he's got 5%. So I'd be very surprised if Turtle doesn't get him.
Want to see if Ricky Bobby can hold on for a few more laps and up, and just didn't have the grip on exit, and Turtle able to get the run and get it done in the sweeper, which is quite an interesting place for an overtake. But considering the tyre difference between those two drivers, it makes sense that Ricky Bobby really could not put up any sort of fight to try and defend the position. But we look back up to the front to Goaty, who will take his debut win in Sector 1. What a drive for Goaty. Absolutely spectacular. And Speedy Snoopy does the strategy, gets it done. Goaty comes GTR comes so close. Will complete the podium. We see Young Wakey in P4, and we have Jeesh in P5. Lenosis this gap between Muffin and Lenosa is really closing up the tyre differential. Almost too much. And Lenosis will take P6, Muffin P7. Turtle will come home in P8. Ricky Bobby, P9 for APR Motorsport. And we have Woody and Morgan fighting it out all the way to the checker flag. But Woody will complete the top 10. It looks like he's going to get there just ahead of Morgan. P10 for Woody, P11 for Morgan. With Faf 12th. And we see John, who's going to continue on. Which is Snake Eyes finishing on the previous lap. And John just rounding the final few corners on the circuit at the moment. Rounds the final corner, and on the approach to the start-finish line, that ends John's day, and that's all she wrote for Division 1. Wow, that was a very, very interesting race. Lots of action at the start, and it kept going right till the checker flag. That was the race that kept on giving. Wowee.
I'm surprised you got a voice left after that.
Yeah, I am too, honestly. I can feel myself getting a bit croaky, but wow. As we'll have a look at the results from that one, the Division 1 race results brought to you by Adelaide Ceramic Coatings. This is how they shape up. Goaty takes his first ever top flight win in Sector 1 with a massive 11-second gap over Speedy Snoopy, with GTR completing the podium. Young Wakey will take P4 with Jishin P5. Little bit of controversy wrapped up there with Lenosis in P6, Captain Muffin in 7th, Turtle P8, and the second half of the results is as follows. We have Ricky Bobby 9th, Woody in 10th, Morgan Davey 11th, coming very close to the top 10 there. Faf will take 12th, John in 13th, and we have Snake Eyes rounding out the grid. So wow, what a race! What races we saw today! Truly entertaining from both Division 1 and Division 3. I was a bit skeptical on the Thursday night stream. Thought, it'll be a bit tiring, but oh wow. It just flew by for me. Absolutely spectacular racing. You love to see it. Yeah, what are your thoughts, Snake Eyes?
Yeah, look, they had a bit of everything, didn't it? Like we had some bit of drama there between Jish and Wakey. There was some really good driving though. I think a lot of the field sort of, putting in a great effort. It was really good to see Speedy Snoopy come up into second. But then the GOAT getting his first win. I mean, you can't get much better than that for the guy.
Yeah, absolutely. So who do you think you're going to give your drive of the day to there, Snake Eyes?
I'm sort of a little bit partial towards Speedy coming in and getting the second, but I'm going to have to give it to the GOAT, I think. I know people quite often say, they usually don't give it a winner, but, it's his first win. I think I'm going to give mine to the GOAT.
We've got a drive of the day nomination from GOAT for drive of the day, Snake Eyes. What are your thoughts on that, Snake Eyes?
Yeah, nah, that guy just he was doing all right for a while, but like I say, he got pretty tired and he really ballsed it up halfway through. So I'd have to give it to the GOAT for sure.
So Revs has said drive of the day GOAT. Debrev says drive of the day Speedy Snoopy. That's a solid pick, I think. Yeah, I mean either GOAT or Speedy Snoopy. That's the two shortlists, I feel. They both did very similar strategies, and they drove it to perfection. And yeah, that's really all it was. We didn't see rain. We saw a few spits, but it wasn't enough to switch to wet tyres. We only saw one driver take the gamble there, and immediately switched off those tyres. But yeah, it's I mean, it's a
We
bit
had,
annoying because it was forecast, and from a few practice races that people had conducted, rain was definitely on its way. But yeah,
yeah,
no go
I
for
know I had
tonight's
a bit of
race.
a, I did have a bit of a chat to the race director, funny enough, about it, and yeah, it was definitely rain was actually put in. So, and I know Div 3 was supposed to get some, and Div 4, so it'll be interesting to see. Um, I believe Div 2 didn't get any either.
Yeah, which Div 1 and 2 was
And
supposed to have lots of rain, and they've hardly
yeah, and
had any, so.
they were supposed to have the same setting. I
Hmm.
think yeah, GT7 decided, no, it's not going to be a wet race today, boys.
Yeah. So I reckon before we sign things off, we should have a look at how the championship shapes up after round 6. Of course, with a few stewards' decisions coming in to straighten out the field, this is how things shape up. Geesh holds his lead at the top of the table, with Speedy Snoopy being promoted up a position to P2 in the championship. Goat goes up as well, with Young Wakey dropping to P4. I believe 13-point penalty dished out by the stewards for Young Wakey for his misconduct in that race. Lenosis up into P5. Woody stays where he is. Morgan down to 7th. Captain Muffin 8th. Turtle Power 9th, Faf 10th, Ricky Bobby 11th, GTR with his podium promotes himself up into P12 in the championship, John into 13th, and Noodles, missing another race, has been demoted to the bottom of the field. So yeah, lots of chopping and changing in the order for one race. We see Young Wakey dropping a lot of positions. Not a very great, outstanding result for Young Wakey, coupled with the points penalties that the stewards have administered. It's definitely taken a dent to his championship hopes. But what that does mean is that Geesh now has a whopping lead over Speedy Snoopy in second, who, mind you, was promoted to Division 1 halfway through the season. Of course, his Division 2 points were converted to Division 1 points, but that only landed him 6th in the championship when he joined the field. And he has fought his way through multiple podiums and great results, consistent results, and he finds himself second place in this championship, just ahead of Goat there, but it's a massive hurdle up to Geesh. And with only 2 rounds remaining, one of those is double points, the Enduro, the finale at Delasarth. I think Geesh has run away with the championship at this point.
Yeah, yeah, he gets a good result the next race. He's going to be near impossible to catch on the last round, I think.
I think if he gets a good result next week, I think it's safe to say the championship would be decided.
Yeah,
Actually,
I
maybe
think it
not.
was the same. I know last season I think it was decided on
Yeah.
it was a longer championship. They wasn't at 12 rounds instead of 8.
There's 45 points separating Geesh and Speedy. So if Geesh gets scores 18 more points than Speedy next race, it'll mean that Geesh has won the championship.
Yeah,
Quick
yeah.
math.
Yeah, but like that the championship changed around a bit as well. But I don't know. Like I say, I only joined sort of season, pretty new to GT7 and everything, and just the amount of leaders we had tonight. Quite often in a race, you either see maybe a couple of leader changes, but with the different strategies going on, 1 stops, 2 stops, such. We've seen quite a few leaders.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of chopping and changing as people execute their particular strategies. I think what it came down to ultimately was a lot of the guys were banking on the rain hitting the circuit heavy and hard,
Yeah,
warranting the wet weather tires. So they set up their strategies in anticipation of the wet weather, which just never came. And drivers like Geesh and Young Wakey were left high and dry, whereas you saw Speedy Snoopy and Goat, they took the gamble on the 1 stop hoping that there was no rain. They executed that strategy to the best of their ability, and they were miles down the road compared to those who were gambling on the rain. Now, if the rain had hit, it would have resulted in those guys that we saw in P4, P5 in Young Wakey and Geesh probably getting a much needed boost in the race. Same as GTR because he was on the 2-stop. It probably would have lined up really well with his strategy to get the jump and move himself up and potentially take the race win. But that's not how it played out. And yeah, I mean, that's racing. I mean,
yeah, I don't think you can really blame the race director over that one, to be honest.
I mean, the lobby was
I
valid.
mean, yeah. I mean, I think across the board, I think nothing really worked out that night. I don't know if I'm just wondering too, because we all know that the reason the 4 races, well, maybe not everyone knows, but the 4 races were actually put on the one night was because there was a bit of a bug in the system after an update, and we couldn't run Div 3 and Div 1 the week before, so it was decided that all 4 races were run on the same night. And so I'm just wondering whether that bug may have come into play in other factors as well, because I know even in the Div 4 race, like we didn't get, like in practice, with the rain settings, we did see some rain. Like there was only sort of probably 1 out of every 4 or 5 sort of practice races where you might have seen like it wet enough to actually have to put a set of inters or something on. But even in all the other races, there was like the track got sort of wet or wet enough that it'd show up on the rain gauge, whereas there was nothing. So I just sort of feel something went on that night as far as the rain, unfortunately.
I think it ultimately comes down to the wind direction and where the weather spawns on the map. It's just a quirk with Gran Turismo, in that if the rain spawns, for example, from the northwest and you have a northwesterly wind, it'll... Wait, is the wind's name where it comes from or where it's going? I think it's where it comes from. So it'd be
where it comes from,
southeasterly. Yeah. So if you have the wind at from a northwest and then you have a southeasterly wind on the circuit, you'll see the rain heading straight towards the track, and then when it gets close, it'll just go the opposite direction. And I think that really threw off a couple of people. They could see the rain on their radars, but then it just never hit, and it caught a few people out. But yeah, there's not much you can do about it. That's just the system that Gran Turismo employs, and yeah.
I know myself. There was a big patch of rain coming through, and I seen it on. And I seen a bit of a break, and I thought, oh, hang on, I reckon it's going to really after that. So, hence why I threw on a set of inters. But yeah, then there was just nothing. So, yeah, just really strange. But like you say, it probably is wind related. And I have seen, I don't know if it's been the same other seasons, but I have noticed this season that the wind can change quite dramatically through a race.
Yeah. Particularly at tracks like St. Croix. Where you see like very gusty winds, and they just completely change directions. I think that also plays into it as well with the weather system, in that if you have at the start of the race, the weather will all spawn depending on the direction of the wind at the start of the race, and then if the wind does a 3 or a 180 and starts pointing the other way, the weather will still spawn depending on where like it was supposed to at the start of the race. I don't know. I think it's just a slight... It's not a bug, but I don't also think it's 100% intentional from PD. So hopefully they can address that in a future update, but we have high hopes.
Because I have... In saying that, I have noticed times that, say you're doing a one stop and you're coming in for that, the middle of the race, and you might see the wind at, say, like you say, it might be blowing southeast, and then you pit and you come back out and it's pointing completely the opposite direction. It's done a complete 180. So maybe that's what has happened to this as well. The rain's tried to come in and then it's just blown itself out.
Yeah. Anyways, we can't bore our audience, or what is left of it, for much longer.
They're
So,
probably all asleep.
yeah, I've been watching the numbers dwindling after we've been having our chat.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're going to sign it off. That's Lanosis and Snake Eyes signing things off for Group A Round 6. Anything else to mention before we close things out tonight, Snake Eyes?
No, not at all. Only just hopefully we see everyone again on.
Yeah, this Sunday we're back with Group A once again, but at Yamagawa. So should be a good affair of racing. Looking forward to that. Fast flowing circuit I mean, it feels great in this car over one lap. We've just got to see how the racing goes. I would liken it to this track in terms of the overtaking potential. But the overtaking potential when it comes to these guys in Div 1 and Div 3 really doesn't matter, as we saw tonight, as these guys are willing to throw haymakers at one another whenever they can. So stay tuned for that on Sunday night. Should be a good stream. Looking very forward to it. So we'll see you all then. And I think that's all. So I think we're going to sign things off. Thanks for coming out tonight, everybody. And yourself, Snake Eyes, thanks for tuning in, giving us some comms tonight. It was good to see everybody in the chat. We got some pretty good viewing numbers, which is nice to see for a Thursday night. It's always tough to get good numbers, but we thank you all for coming. And we thank Snake Eyes for coming out, giving his time up to, well, it's not really race direct, but to co-comms.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me along. It was good. A little bit different. Something, yeah, doing a bit of a delayed race was good.
Yeah, I mean, a Sector 1 first. I think it went pretty smoothly.
Yeah,
anyways,
considering we had to outline ourselves up a bit.
Yeah, I think for the most part we did all right. Anyways, thanks for coming out, everybody. That's Lanosis and Snake Eyes signing off for Round 6, Season 8 here at Autopolis, the Group A event. We'll catch you all on Sunday night. Bye-bye.